One more try. All right. The patch notes. We are gonna go over the patch notes. We have enhanced the picture-in-picture here, and we can read it. We can read it very well now. Text-to-speech reader on. No, I'm the text-to-speech reader, okay? So, first section of the patch notes, the new leak mechanic. Obviously, this is kind of a recap of what we already had in the reveal, right? They just go over everything that we have in this new leak mechanic. We have all the rune crafting. We have the leak mechanic within the campaign. Once we go through the campaign and find all these runic stones, and we go into the runic stones and we craft our own rewards for these, and depending on how much we craft on the rune stones, we get like rewards that we can pick from. It's kind of the same as we have right now in terms of campaign rewards, like we had in Abyss and Temple already, but now we get to pick it like a little bit. So I'm kind of excited for this league mechanic, especially in campaign. I think it's gonna make the campaign experience very cool, because we're probably gonna get a lot of player power in the campaign. And yeah, I think if you just go for every league mechanic in every zone, you won't have really any problems gearing your character and being strong with your character, which is sometimes a little bit of the problem, right? If we're going fast through campaign and we don't go to town every now and then, and we don't go for the very, very slow approach and just like gearing at every step of the way, campaign can feel like a little bit weird sometimes, right? So, unique Verisium rune forging has additional property when used on cargo and uniques. This is, like we said, this is all the stuff that we had in the reveal. Will you open the bingo card and check it in real time? I didn't do a bingo. I did not do a bingo. We're just gonna go over this. So, 13 mythical early game runes that can be crafted from remnant encounters to provide significant boost to level 15 characters. Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about, right? So I would assume the whole campaign experience is just like, it is massively improved in terms of player power. That's definitely what it seems like, right? We have meta crafting runes. We have 60 plus runes can be created by destroying a unique to make a rune that gains some of its properties. That's the Oroth one, right? That's 60 plus. You can extract 60 different uniques. Okay, that's heavy. Mist resistance swapping. Where added 3 fluxes which can be crafted from remnants to transform the resistances on your items from one element to another. Wait, that's a good call. Thank you for making me aware of that. Wait, resistance swapping. They didn't even mention that in the reveal, so we do need to go over this like one by one. Damn, that is really good. Fluxes, that I would like. I had exactly the same question right now. What are your fluxes, right? Is it just as easy as just putting that on there? That is crazy. If there's no downside, to actually using this, because I had kind of the worry that if they introduce something like that, let's say you have a T1 fire resistance on your body armor, for example, and you want lightning resistance. I always had the like slight worry that if you resistance swap that it gives you, instead of T1 lightning resistance, that it gives you T2, just like as a slight downside for you to not be infinitely resistance swapping all the time, you know? I mean, they don't say this right here, but that might still be the case, right? I mean, it's still good. That's still good, especially early mid game, when you first get into endgame and you start to itemize and everything. That's still good. It does not state which of your resistance gets converted on gear. Yeah, that's true. let's see. I mean, that is a, as the kids say, a huge W. Did you see all the notes yet, or are you just going through it? No, we just started, Mercado. We just started. So no spoilers. We're just going through everything right now. I just started. So if you haven't seen the notes yet and you are in the chat, you are in the right place. In Endgame, you're easily maxed on resistances, so that's quality of life mostly. Yes, absolutely. It makes itemization just easier, right? Okay. Added 60 plus runes. We had this runic void runes that can be crafted from remnants, adding or modifying properties related to runic void. Okay. Added 21 Kalguran skills. We talked about that yesterday on the podcast. I think the whole Kalguran skills have gone a little bit under the radar, I think, ever since we've gotten the reveal. Because that can be huge. These can be build defining, I think. We don't know it yet. The ones that we've seen on the reveal were kind of okay, I would say. Is that a Lorna Shore jumper? No, it is. You're not tripping. I think this can be huge, by the way. I think the Kalguran skills can be absolutely huge. Detonate Living is one called, you said? Oh. Oh. Okay, so the first Animus, we can speculate a little bit what these will be. Animus Exchange, Animus Splinters, Bitter Dead, Conductive Runes, Detonate Living. That might feel okay. I'm just gonna assume that it is like Rupture the Flesh. Damage alive people. I'm just gonna assume that it's something like this. Like, enemies killed by you or by an ally in your presence have a 30% chance to explode, dealing quarter of the maximum life as chaos damage. I would assume that it is something like this. That they detonate, that we have Detonate Dead, but for mobs that are still alive. By the way, just on the topic of new uniques and everything, if I'm gonna league start a witch, which is very likely, or I'm gonna league start Lich or Abyssal Lich, once we get the Liminal Coil one with all the curses on the whole screen, we're gonna have so much fun. Okay, we have Detonate Living, we have Eternal March, Explosive Transmutation, Fragments of the Past, Frost Flame Nova, I think that's pretty clear what that is. I think they also showed that. Grim Pillars, Hollow Shell, Ley Lines, Powered by Verisium, Refutation, Remnants of Kalgor, Repulsion, Unique Reprieve, Skyfall, Triskelion Cascade, Verisium Manifestations, and Voltaic Barrier. So, could be some juicy ones in there. We don't know yet though. Added 8 Kalguran supports as well. Concussive Runes, Fists of Kalgor, Healing Runes, Kalguran Conviction, Rune Forge Blades, Runic Extraction, Runic Infusion, and Scouring Flame. Skyfall, Daniel Craig in PoE confirmed. I think Skyfall and in general the Daniel Craig James Bonds are very underrated. I think there are a few very, very good ones. Whole ass week to wait again. We can take a week to read this if you want. So, new endgame story that we already know. There's now a hop area, the ruins of Kingsmarch, for the runes of Aldur to the southeast of your starting location on the Atlas. Okay, a hop area. You say that because you like his watch? I'm not a big watch guy, and the Seamaster and the Speedmaster is very big. That's why I'm not a fan. I can't wear big watches because my wrist is so small. So you can see here, the watch that I have is a 35 millimeter, and you can see that's like the maximum I can wear on my wrist because I have very small wrists. Okay, why do I always get baited by you into talking about watches? Okay, many new islands have been added to the Grand Expeditions. We know that Medved, Vorana, and Uthred join Oroth as the 4 faction leaders available to fight on the new islands that you can discover in the ocean. So we have 4 pinnacle bosses now? 4 pinnacle bosses now? That's awesome. Defeating Oroth will give you a key that you can use to access the new pinnacle boss for the Runes of Aldur. So it's 2 pinnacle bosses. These ones are like the faction leaders. Would we... Are these pinnacle bosses? I'm not sure how they name that. It's fine. It's fine. 4 EXP and 1 pinnacle. Yeah, like 4 like pre-pinnacle bosses, and then the rest is like the actual pinnacle bosses or something. All right. The new Runes of Aldur Challenge League includes the first set of challenges in Path of Exile 2. Earn pieces of the Knight of Aldur armor set when you complete. So we get the Challenge League right away. That's interesting. We get the Challenge League right away. These challenges rewards are only obtainable in this league. Okay, that is awesome. That is really nice. From the first challenge onwards, and for every challenge after that, you will receive pieces of the Runes of Aldur totem decoration to display in your hideout. Nice. The totem pole permanently showcases how many of the Runes of Aldur challenges you completed during the league. Okay, Chad. I'm gonna... We can... I wish I did this bet with Lance. I did a bet with Lance yesterday about, I think, pinnacle bosses. We should have a bet with someone who completes all the challenges faster or something. All of your old characters from the early access launch are still present, but a free passive tree refund has been granted. Yeah, okay. With 0.5, they are standard, hardcore, and Soul of Self variations. Okay. Alright. That is the Runes of Aldur. That's the league mechanic. I'm really excited for the league mechanic. We have the Azumite Resonance. We have 100 plus new crafting runes. We have the Kalguran skills. We have the whole new exploration aspect of Expedition. We have 15 new bosses and pinnacles. We have 400 Node Atlas tree. Okay, this is not the Runes of Aldur. Yeah, okay. We go on. Okay. Endgame, the Atlas, now has fixed points of interest at specific locations, giving you the distinct objectives that are easy to find. Yes. All league mechanics on the Atlas now have quests that introduce the mechanic and guide you through its various stages up to the pinnacle boss. So that's we already saw. All pinnacle bosses now have quest versions that can be accessed deterministically, alongside repeatable non-quest versions that offer greater challenge. This is, by the way, I need to open my notes. Give me 1 second. Let's do some notes here. So the first note I would put down was resistance swapping. I think that was the next one. And then buff to Abyssal Lich, because Kulemak now deterministic. Because this was a problem before. This was a problem before for Lich, that it was basically RNG gated when you could get to Kulemak. Because if you were very unlucky and you were doing Abyss, like only Abyss every day, you could still get very, very unlucky and not get to Kulemak because you just didn't get lucky and got the Kulemak invitation because you didn't get the... What was it called? Like the boss area, right? So now we deterministically get to the pinnacle boss for Abyss, so we can immediately go into Kulemak without having to buy the Kulemak invitation. So we can become an Abyssal Lich like immediately, which is very, very nice for that plan. Alright, the endgame overhaul called Origins of Divinity here. New endgame storyline, the Cataclysm of the Beast has invoked an ancient protocol designed to scour for and purge corruption should it ever take hold. To this degree, traverse the Atlas to enter the fortress and activate the gates, obtain the keys to reach the ancient precursor weapons and disarm them. So everyone's just gonna kill the pinnacle boss over and over as fast as possible, right? To get all the Atlas points. On completion of your first tower, a fortress will rise from the earth. Maps inside the fortress grant more and more passive points for the Atlas passive tree. This entirely replaces the previous method of gaining Atlas points. So, yeah. We're just gonna rush that, right? Dude, who is smoking? I've closed all the doors. Only the window in the bathroom is open, and someone has to like smoke in front of that window. It smells like cigarettes in here. As the entire Atlas tree, the cat? No, I don't think the cats are smoking cigarettes. As the entire Atlas tree can be fully allocated, there is no need to allow respecialization for it anymore. Multi-choices nodes on the tree can be changed between options at a time. Many maps in the fortress have ancient modifiers that add or modify the contents of the map. Any maps with modifiers that add secondary content to a map also implicitly add that content to the map as well. My question, and a discussion I had on the podcast with Palsteron and Dreamcore, is, do you guys think it's going to be the way for this, or the strategy for this is going to be to rush all the Atlas passive tree points as fast as possible and don't care for all the modifiers on these maps and get them outside? Or do you actually want to hit up all these like ancient modifier maps? That is going to be interesting to see for me, because I have a feeling everyone's just going to rush it. Because you want the Atlas points, right? Because that's going to be player power, that's going to be map juice, that's going to be so much. Yeah. That's a little bit unfortunate, I think, because they probably put a lot of effort into that, and everyone's just going to rush it now. There's a chance to get the modifiers outside as well. That's why I think everyone's going to rush it. Because you can get them outside as well, right? Alright. So, new precursor. Added 3 gateway maps with the new bosses that can be used to different sections of the fortress. Okay, new precursor tower maps have been added outside the fortress. The burning monolith along with Arbiter of Ash has been moved into the fortress. Okay. Wait, they moved the whole burning monolith into a fortress? That is a big fortress. They just moved it. They took it, and that's a big house. Yeah, holy. Quest versions of the Crisis Fragments have been added to Enigma chambers inside the fortress. Added 2 new Citadel maps with 2 new bosses that drop keys to the new Pinnacle boss. Damn, there's gonna be so much boss content. You have 2 new Citadel maps as well, on top of the already existing one, that also dropped the keys to the Pinnacle boss. Damn. Added Arbiter of Divinity Pinnacle boss. Maps in the fortress can be alternatively completed by killing the Arbiter of Divinity 5 times to complete different sections of the fortress automatically in order to gain Atlas tree points. And that is the fortress. Masters of the Atlas. Alongside the passive tree, new system called Masters of the Atlas introduces ascendancy style progression for endgame players. Can align with different masters such as Jado, Order of the Jinn, Hilda, and the other one. Each master has 12 nodes, which 4 can be selected at the same time. You can change the selection at any time, so it's basically specialization into what you want to do in your maps. It's kind of an addition to your Atlas tree, right? That you can change at any time. It's like multiple choice nodes that you can pick. We already saw like a few of them. You can get like more effect of precursor tablets. You can get like more unique bosses. You can get like wisps being in unique bosses in the maps and everything. So there we go. Masters of the Atlas. All right. Damn, this is all Delirium. Oh my god. Okay. Delirium, new storyline. An ancient trickster god has been unleashed. Okay, that's lore. There's now a hub area called the Withered Willow for Delirium to the southwest of your starting location on the Atlas. The maps around this location all contain Deliriums and give you 3 points for points for the Delirium Atlas tree. So we didn't really know that, right? That we get. So you, in order to get the Delirium passive Atlas tree or to get all the League Mechanic Atlas passive tree, we just have to do the maps. Okay, easy. Delirium Atlas tree has been completely revamped with many new nodes and existing nodes changed. After breaking a Delirium mirror, there is now a progress bar showing how deep you are. Okay, we saw that. There are now a set of new Delirium encounters on the can be seen on the Delirium bar. Okay, map bosses in Delirium will always be 100% delirious. Okay, Delirium is probably still gonna be like the hardest, the hardest League mechanic, right? That's still gonna be the one where we get blasted, especially with something like this. The map bosses are probably gonna be a little bit harder here. 100% delirious. The damage and life bonus given to monsters from Delirium has been reduced. Okay, so they immediately introduce a nerf to Delirium though in the map. So that was reduced. So less life on the Delirium monsters and less damage. That's immediate nerf to that. But map bosses are still 100 or are now 100% delirious. Added 5 new elite Delirium monsters. Added a new sub area, Loathsome Mire. Okay. Drops 2 new amulet base types that grant 2 instilled notables at the cost of either -1 suffix or -1 prefix. That is. What does that mean? Like, because isn't everyone just gonna farm this? Because these sound crazy. These, like, amulets sound crazy. 2 instilled notables for the cost of -1 suffix or -1 prefix? That is insane. That is extremely good. I would give up 1 suffix and 1 prefix for that with good notables. Dude, imagine. Also, can you still anoint something then? Like, can you still anoint something onto that amulet then? So that has like a crazy possibility. On top of voices, the jewel, is everyone gonna go for Delirium or something now? That's fucking crazy. 2 instills means 2 anoints. Yeah, I mean, I want to know how that works. I want to know how that works. Alright. Liquid emotions can now be used to craft additional mods on jewels. Yeah, we've seen that. Like, jewels are getting a massive power creep, I guess. Wait, wasn't that the necklace that was giving 1 spirit skill for free for the reveal? I don't... Combine that with the Megalo? Yeah, I mean, it fits in the whole Delirium aspect, right? The Megalo and then that amulet, you just get passive tree notables for free. And knowing... What did she say? And knowing the amount of notables on the passive tree is probably complete ass. I mean, then you are also saying that Megalo is complete ass, right? And you would be right about like 90% of Megalos. 9 out of 10 Megalos that you find are ass, yes. But that one that you find, that can be really good. So I think it's gonna be the same for these amulets. If you get a good notable combination, then yes, then it's really good. If you don't, rough. Mr. Rabbit is up early today? No, not really, actually. You also have to craft it afterwards. Yup. Yup. But that's exciting, I think. After triggering the Trial of Madness, fog will spread from a map of your choosing on the atlas, including a locked simulacrum. While inside the fog, the entire map is delirious, starting at 10%. Killing rare monsters at the map boss increases the deliriousness of all maps in the fog. On reaching 100%, the simulacrum will become available. Deliriousness can continue to be increased to 200% delirious. Oh god. I mean, we were asking for harder content, right? Holy shit. Holy. I think we were kind of asking for harder content, but damn, that sounds crazy. I think Leech sounds even better now. Seems like you actually need to be a little bit tanky now. 200% simulacrum? Yeah, what? Rare and unique monsters in delirious maps have a set of new delirious modifiers, giving them strange new abilities. Okay. Map bosses of delirious maps can additionally drop a new set of 3 potent emotions that can be used to craft new powerful modifiers on jewels that are not available in the normal jewel mod pool. 2 jewels are gonna be so strong. Holy. These emotions can also be used to instill a set of 16 new passive tree notables that are not normally available on the passive tree. Damn. Dude, Delirium sounds crazy juicy. Simulacrum is now a 7-wave encounter. Okay. So Simulacrum, not 15 waves anymore. Does that mean that wave 10 is gone? Because I hated wave 10. Delirium sounds fucking OP. Completing a Simulacrum will now give you a key to face the new Delirium Pinnacle boss. So Simulacrum isn't even like the... Holy. There's so much to do now. There's a new set of 10 ancient emotions that can drop if unlocked by the Atlas tree, which can be used to craft time-lost jewels. There are also 3 ancient potent emotions that can be used to craft new powerful modifiers on time-lost jewels that are not normally available in the mod pool. Holy shit. Some non-amulet Delirium uniques now drop with the Raven Touch modifier, allowing them to be instilled. Wait, there's Delirium uniques now that you can instill that are not amulets? Dude, Delirium sounds absolutely insane. This is the first leak mechanic that we read now. Delirium sounds completely insane. Like, this is all insane. This doesn't even mention that we get voices from this as well. Like, the voices jewel is probably the best, like one of the most desirable items in the game already. And all of this sounds insane. Isn't this the whole point of Delirium, being insane? Get out. Voices will be on the pinnacle that you need the key for. Yep. Yep. That sounds insane. Wow. Holy. So, that is Delirium. Wow. Insane. Okay. Breach. The new Breach storyline. Travel to the Monastery of the Keepers, the hallowed halls of the Keepers of the Flame. Lore. There's a new hub area, once again, just like in Delirium and all the other ones. The Breach Atlas tree has been completely revamped with many new nodes and existing nodes changed. Starting a Breach now shows a progress bar. We had this with Delirium as well. Reaching 100% on this bar will begin a new mechanic, a stabilized Breach. Stabilized Breach will spawn new challenges at its starting point. There's basically PvE1 Breach, kind of. Added a new boss to stabilize the Breach. Rune. Rune. Marshal of Zesht. Okay. Added new crafting system, the Genesis tree, we know that. Also from PoE1, Genesis tree allows consuming of womb gifts and hive blood to create rings, amulets, belts, and currency. Yeah, just once again, sounds insane. We just went over Delirium and saying like Delirium might be insane and everyone goes for Delirium, and I think now we just go for a Breach here. Notes on the Genesis tree can be allocated to affect what items will be crafted. Breach plus Delirium sounds good to farm, yeah. I just got a job. I will probably lose it in the first few weeks because of PoE2. Rough. Rough. New nodes are unlocked by using womb gifts. Added 6 new ring base types that can be exclusively crafted from the Genesis tree. Added 4 new amulet bases that can exclusively be crafted from the Genesis tree. 4 new belt bases that can be exclusively crafted from the Genesis tree. I think we saw a few of those. We saw a few of those in the reveal, but not all of them. So that will be interesting. I think especially the belt bases looked very, very cool. So, yeah, exciting to see those bases, especially the belt bases. I think looked interesting. Added a new. Give me a sec. Added a new set of caster and minion mods that can be crafted onto rings and bells using the Genesis tree. Very good. Very good. Minions and casters. That's us. Catalysts can no longer drop from monsters. These are solely obtained from the Genesis tree. Okay, added a new set of 12 catalysts that can add new quality of modifiers to jewels. What this also means is if you don't manually add breach to your map, if you don't go for breach, you won't get anything breach related, right? That's kind of killing monsters in the breach now drops hive blood and womb gifts and breach stone splinters. Breach stone splinters turn into a special womb gift when fully stacked. This can be turned in at the Genesis tree to create a breach stone. New breach domains now spawns on the Atlas. Using a breach stone will reveal the maps inside the domain, allowing you to enter them. Maps inside the breach domain contain new encounters, breach hives, sky hives, and sky fortress. Breach hives have a series of walls that can be burned by walking through them. Each wall destroyed will increase the number of monsters in the encounter, which can be started in the center. This also sounds just insane, man. Insane. Sky hives are a new area which the breach lords have constructed fortresses you will need to assail. Sky hives contain a challenging multi-wave encounter in which you will need to defend Aelith while she closes the domain. Aelith will gain a series of abilities that can be triggered during the encounter with various effects. Defeating Tool and Ash will give you a key to access the existing Breach Pinnacle boss. So Zesht is still the Pinnacle boss for Breach. Delirium seems to be insane. Delirium insane, Breach broken. Yeah. I'm already kind of out of breath here. Okay, that was Breach. Remember my bachelor party situation? I'm skipping half of it and going too late to the play. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right. Ritual. Once again, new storyline, top area, ritual passive tree. After completing a ritual encounter in a map, locusts will spawn and point the way to the next altar. All items in the endgame ritual reward screens are now either uniques or omens. That was also something that we saw in the reveal, right? Interesting, to say the least. Interesting. I do think that is a good change, because how many times have you actually picked a rare item from the ritual window in ritual before? Or even checked those? Raise your hand right now if you did. No hands raised. Not a single hand raised. One by mistake. I misclicked once. So, yeah, that's a... I did it once, misclick. Okay, so good change then. I guess that means that's a good change, right? Any tribute not spent on rewards can now be sacrificed to gain an audience with the king. Killing in the name of... No, killing the king in the mist now drops a new key, the head of the king. This key can be used in Zair Kartath to begin the Rite of the Nameless. And then the Rite of the Nameless is a new Atlas mechanic in which you choose a series of 5 maps to complete in a single continuous ritual. The monsters from each ritual, including the map boss, will really appear in each map in the sequence, making it a very challenging encounter. The unique bosses from each map will only appear in the final ritual of each map. That also sounds incredible. That also sounds incredible. Then issue with 7TV? Yeah. If you have an issue with your chat, if you can't type in chat right now because it's missing, deinstall all your chat add-ons like 7TV, Frankerface, and BTTV and reinstall them. Pin 7TV message. If you can't type in chat, reinstall 7TV, BTTV, or FFD. Okay, let me quickly pin that. I have that as well, by the way, right now. I haven't. Okay. All right. Also type in chat if that worked for you. Dead Rabbit customer support, yeah. Alright, sorry. Off we go. So, while choosing maps for the Rite of the Nameless, each map after the first will contain extra modifiers which affect the difficulty and rewards of the... This also sounds like super challenging. This sounds super challenging. Each map in the Rite of the Nameless awards one element of the key used to access the ritual pinnacle boss. Added new boss, the Queen in the Mists. Available after allocating a specific node on the Atlas tree, this boss can drop 3 new corrupted idols. Holy. Holy. This sounds also super cool. Dude, what are we even going for? What are we even going for? Like, Delirium sounds insane. Leech seems insane. Ritual seems insane. And then we haven't even talked about the new expedition. What are we doing? Breach for the wand? Is the wand breach? Press Colo? Is the liminal coil wand? Is it breach? I didn't know that. Oh yeah, and I haven't even mentioned temple. But there might be changes. Breaches. So it should be... No, it's ritual, I think. No. It's ritual. The wand. The wand seems to be ritual. That's 100% ritual. It's in the Rite of the Nameless one. What build is this one for? Basically, like the builds that I'm playing anyway. Like any Lich build. Any build that curses. Any build that uses curses. And this is basically one made for this stream. Alright. Let's go on. That was Ritual. And now, Fate of the Val. Moving to core. Fate of the Val Temple has been added to the core game. You first encounter a series of 6 ancient beacons in Act 3. Energize them to obtain energized crystals and open a portal to the Vaal ruins. You will encounter a second set of 6 ancient beacons in the interludes. So you will definitely want to go into the temple in Act 3, right? Start Lich. Me personally, I mean, we haven't gotten to the balance changes yet, so right now I'm starting Lich. I'm starting Lich, yes. There's now an Atlas passive tree for the Fate of the Vaal League mechanic. Atlas at Ceres Temple can now be found on the Atlas, northeast of his starting location. Basically, it's like any other League mechanic now. There are now new Temple precursor tablets. That's okay. It's no longer possible to prevent a room from being deleted from the temple. Rooms that must be deleted but have other connections will be turned into simple path rooms. This prevents the snake strategy. They actually name-dropped the snake strategy. Wow. They actually name-dropped it. They didn't say something about Sushi sucking the venom out, though. Okay, the number of rooms in the temple when first starting has increased to allow getting to Itsiri more quickly. That's cool. Rooms can now be upgraded to tier 4 after unlocking this ability on the temple atlas tree. This allows more specialization into particular room types and encourages more interesting temple layouts. Reward rooms granted from the console after defeating the architect have been significantly improved, with more varieties to unlock in addition to upgrading the rewards of all existing ones. Restricted rooms in Ceres Temple that are accessible will always destabilize upon exiting the temple. Damn. Temple medallions now have their drop rate scaled with the number of paths in the temple in addition to other rooms. So it's like you don't... It seems like the strategy is not to chain the most amount of rooms together now, but to have like a good path to Itsiri and then also rooms or something, right? I don't know. Just complete overhaul. This is super hard to gauge whether it is like how it will feel inside of the game, because this is basically a complete new like balance approach to the temple. So super hard to say like how this is gonna have it, what the impact of this is gonna be in the actual game, right? Super hard to say. So I'm gonna just glance over this. There are now 4 types of infuser. Existing Vaal infusers are now Vaal Armorous infusers, which can be applied to armor. Vaal Blacksmith infuser can be applied to martial weapons, while Vaal Arcanist infuser can be applied to wands, staves, and scepters. Okay. Vaal Catalyzing infusers can be applied to jewelry. Okay. And all infusers can only be used on items that are at or above 20 quality. Okay. Fate of the Vaal currency items now have a maximum stack size of 5,000 when stored in the wildcard slots in the currency stash tab. Okay. Some of the possible outcomes from applying Vaal cultivation orbs to unique items have been updated. Okay, the series rule unique staff can now roll increased life. Okay, series splendor. Wait. Oh, that's a nerf. Series body armor nerf. Heavy nerf, by the way. Nerf. That's a heavy nerf. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, that had way too much. Did I forget anything notable in these ones? No, right? No one really cares. So, Covenant unique body armor can roll 20 to life cost efficiency. That's also nerfed. Covenant nerfed as well. Covenant nerf. Hateforge unique. Wait, Hateforge unique gloves can now roll. skill that requires glory? Was that always the thing? Yeah. Wrath Pith can now roll... Okay, that's a very slight nerf, that's fine. Ah. Reverse. Chill. Dead. Okay, reverse chill is dead. Dead. Oh! The Vertex unique helmet can no longer roll +2, +4 of all skill gems. Instead, now being able to roll +3 to 5 level of curse skill gems. I mean... What do you mean, Rip Vertex? Vertex, now a Lich helmet. Hog. We take those! Everyone, come on. Everyone, come on. Everyone expected... Everyone expected a Vertex nerf, okay? At least we got something out of it, okay? Everyone expected this to get nerfed, okay? +5 to curses, yeah, dude. That's kind of insane. So you won't use a series disdain? I mean. We don't know that yet. What's happening? It might not be in a series like helmet situation. It's a helmet, yeah. But it might not be like a eternal life Lich thing to curse. It could also be like if we go with Lich, it could also be something where we use Rupture the Soul, where we use Eldritch Empowerment, Crystalline Phylactery, and Necromantic Conduit or something. I don't know. Could be something. Like, we don't know. Alright. Abyss. Barely any changes to Abyss, because Abyss is just perfect. There are now large Abyss cracks on the Atlas. Completing Atlas Abysses will close them and will always give you Abyssal Depths with the boss fight. Yeah, that is what I meant. You can immediately become an Abyssal Lich now. Like, you can immediately become an Abyssal Lich. By just doing Abyssals. The Abyss Atlas tree has been revamped with many new nodes and changing to its listed nodes. Kulamax invitation is now always allocated to the map owner. So you can't sell them anymore? Or... Okay, someone... Blankosaurus, GG. Is Abyssal Lich even good? No. You shouldn't play Abyssal Lich. It's very bad. Abyssal Lich is super bad. Don't play Abyssal Lich. It's super bad. No one should play Abyssal Lich. Modifiers to the numbers of chests found now apply to the chests found in Abyss. These also apply to the chance to find in Abyssal Depths, so the chance to find in Abyssal Depths does not decrease with the more chest areas there are. Okay, perfect. Adjusted the damage of the Meteoric Demise Abyss monster modifier. Lithomantic runes from the Lithomantic Runes Abyss modifiers now are active after a long delay. Okay, we understood that all. You got that? You all understood that, right? Twisters is bad too, especially with the Abyssal Lich, so both bad, double bad together. Yeah, exactly. Twisters and, like... I mean, we haven't seen Twisters here on this. I don't expect any changes to Lich in this, but maybe Twisters. Plants also bad, yeah. Expedition. Expedition League has been temporarily disabled on Standard League due to integration with the Runes of Aldor. Recombinator has been disabled. Wait, what? The omen of recombination has been removed. Existing omens of recombination will be deleted upon logging in. What? Hole 7. No, what? What am I typing? Hole 7 recombinator. What? Oh 07 farmer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The fuck? Rip to all my recombinator enjoyers. That's interesting. The Forgotten by Time Expedition Precursor Tablets is also disabled. Expedition explosives now wait to explode until most of the monsters on Earth by the previous explosion have been killed. Okay. Farmer just lost half his content. You can now use currency from your stash to purchase items from expedition vendors. Okay. Other endgame changes. With the introduction of the new endgame storyline, the Atlas tree has been reset. Your existing tablets and waystones will continue to work, so you can continue your progression as normal. Added a support for searching on the endgame Atlas map. That's very nice. That is very nice. You can now zoom out slightly further on the Atlas tree. That's also nice. There are now two versions of each pinnacle boss. The quest version and the infinite form version, such as primary and secondary and tertiary calamity fragments, can no longer be attained. Tablets of the same type may now be used together to increase the amount of League content that is spawned. The specifics of this are different for each content type. In some cases, adding multiple tablets will increase the size of a single encounter, while in other cases, it will increase the number of encounters spawned. Wait, that is cool. We talked about this on the podcast with Dreamcore and Palstron.
I'm not a burger.
Dotalero, thank you for the prime. Wait, I talked about this with Dreamcore and Palstron, if you guys watched that podcast, right? Because we kind of assumed that if you use, like, let's say you use 3 breach tablets, right? There should be a bonus to you, like, specializing in breach, because you don't get the other stuff, right? So that seems like... I'm just gonna put this down as bonus for using 3 of the same tablet. Right? That's how I would say it. What a W change for stacking tablets? Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. That is really, really good, in my opinion. That's a cool, very, very cool change. Each empty tablet slot now contributes to the amount of random non-tablet spawned League content in the area. This means that if all tablet slots are full, you will only see the League content from the tablets that you are using. They kind of alluded to that in the Ziggy D interview, right? The intent of this change is to make sure that you do not need to complete the Atlas trees for leagues you do not intend to run. Okay. I mean, still most likely going to do that, right? But waystones must now be identified in order to activate them in the map device. Okay. You can that was like a strategy here, right? There was like a thing where you put unidentified waystones, you could immediately, like, you can now use orbs of chance on tablets. Some items and content now require you to specialize in them through Atlas passive tree skills, including exceptional items, fracturing orbs, basic, and overseer precursor tablet. Tablets can no longer be used on maps that cannot have extra content, such as unique maps, okay? League-specific tablets no longer drop from non-map areas, such as Simulacrum, Abyssal Depths, or the Twisted Domain. Lowered the base chances for essences, Asmiri spirits, shrines, strongboxes, summoning circles, and rogue exiles appearing in maps, somewhat due to the much larger increase now available on the Atlas tree. Bro, the fracture orb thing is huge. Why did you just pass it? What do you mean? Yeah, why is that huge? It's like a specialization now.
Degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals.
Is that huge? Yo, Rage Salty, thank you so much for the resub. You need to specialize in order to drop those. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that cleansed areas are gone, and now it's like on the passive, like on the Atlas tree. It only drops when you specialize. Yeah, I think that's kind of, isn't it kind of the same as it was before? Because if you didn't cleanse corrupted areas, you also didn't get them. So that's also kind of specialization. I don't think that's like a huge, I think that's fine. Corrupted Nexuses still exist for Doyani quest. No, that whole quest line doesn't exist anymore. You get the Atlas Tree passive points by doing the fortress now. Miso talked like 10 minutes about this. I don't think this is like huge. You just like, it's now a Atlas Tree specialization to get fracturing orbs, to get like, everyone gets back into it. Exactly. You are not RNG gated in that type anymore, that you just have to find, you don't just have to blindly find corrupted areas to cleanse them now to then get those. I think this is a very good change. I think that's a very good change. I think that's good. Where were we? Atlas, yeah, lowered the base chance. Atlas passive that reference maps with powerful map bosses now work with Overseer precursor tablets and other sources of powerful map bosses. Doyani quest was Resident Sleeper. Yes, exactly. Like, I think the whole fortress thing is much better. It sounds much better. The following modifiers can now no longer roll on waystones: Barrens, Beastly, Bramble, Doyani. I don't know what all of this is. Whether a map modifier is a suffix or prefix has been adjusted so that generally prefixes are modifiers that affect a monster output towards the player, and suffixes are modifiers that affect the player or monster defenses. Yep. Overpowering Waystone modifier no longer causes monster to have increased freeze build-up shock chance. Okay. Waystone modifier bonus have been updated. They now provide more monster effectiveness, pack size, item rarity, monster rarity. Okay. Modifiers to pack size now also provide a chance for an additional rare monster to appear in rare monster packs. Okay. I mean, this is all just map juice, right? Wow. Monster rarity is... yo, no-ho mode with the tier 1 for the first time. Thank you so much. Map modifiers that include sources of increased number of rare modifiers or increased number of magic monsters have been updated to only display the number at the header of the map and also be displayed amongst the explicit modifiers. This is not a functional change. Okay. Half the bonus to quantity of items dropped and experience gains provided by increased monster effectiveness, such as Temple. Monster rarity is a new stat available that affects the chances of magic and rare monsters and the chance for additional modifiers on rare monsters. Monster rarity. That's a new map modifier. Right? That could also be very interesting. Monster rarity instead of effectiveness, basically, because effectiveness is much less now. New layer of rarity, yeah. So maybe this also means that rarity on gear is not going to be as important anymore, right? Because you can just stack monster rarity or whatever they call it now. Sounds interesting. Sounds very cool. Functionality of the Omen of Chaotic Rarity, Omen of Chaotic Quantity, and Chaotic Monsters have been inverted. Instead of guaranteeing the new modifiers are of their type, they now instead prevent the modifiers from being of their type. Okay. Okay, first of all, new monster rarity modifier. Effectiveness nerfed for XP and drops. Up to 3 of the above omens may be used simultaneously. How does that work then? Added the new omen of chaotic effectiveness. Ah, so we have... Okay. Ah, so you exclude 3. So you have to spend much more to get a juice map like that. Because instead of just getting 1 with 1 omen, you now have to use all 3 to get the one that you want. Right? Half the damage as extra buffs granted from the following shrines. Freezing Shrine, Gloom Shrine, Meteoric Shrine, and Tempest Shrine. Wow, they nerfed shrines. Shrines nerfed. Damage halved. Damn. Shrines nerfed. Not even shrines are saved. Completion of fixed locations on the Atlas now shared with party members. Okay, with the addition of more varied content on the Atlas, size of indicators has been increased by 50%. Waystones have received a new 2D art. Oh my god. Resistance swapping. Did I miss something? Yes, you missed it. Resistance swapping was like right at the top. Right at the top. Where was it? Like flux or something. Added 3 fluxes, which can be crafted from remnants to transform the resistances on your items from one element to another. That is resistance swapping. See, that's why we go over this together one by one, so we don't miss anything. That's how we don't miss anything. Oh yeah, Vertex for Lich. Yeah, Vertex is now a Lich helmet, yes. Alright, where were we? This was other endgame changes. Okay, campaign replayability. To improve how long it takes for experienced players to replay through the campaign, in each league we've added elements to multiple campaign areas that will tell you where to go, if you know what to look for. You can see some examples in this video. Yeah, we saw that already. Some areas throughout the game have been shortened. That sounds very nice. That sounds very nice. Removed the second Dreadnought area, the Dreadnought Vanguard. The Act 2 boss is now in the Dreadnought. Okay. Area order in Act 3 has been somewhat rearranged in order to make progression smoother. Nice. The waterways levers have been turned into pressure pads that you simply need to walk over. And the final part of the level has the water pre-drained. Why am I only seeing one login? There needs to be like several. Waterways are now W waterways. Destroyed the waterways lore. Kinda. W ways, yeah. Wait. W ways. Okay, that's huge. Monster density in the second half of the campaign has been reduced, especially in the interludes, to allow getting through those areas more quickly. Wow. Wait, that's actually huge. That's actually huge. Because especially like starting, I would say starting in Act 4 and and interludes, it started, like depending on the build that you were playing, it started to get a little bit frustrating sometimes. Because you were most likely, in most times you were already at the appropriate level. and you just, like, you couldn't get through. And you were just rolling through, always, like, getting stuck on everything. I like that. Less monster density in second half of campaign. I think overall, these campaign changes here are extremely, extremely good. Sounds like tourist issues. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I just think that having a little bit less frustrating aspects to the game sometimes, that's good. I don't think that's I don't think that's bad to adjust that. I think it is good if the game doesn't feel as frustrating sometimes when you're in the latter half of the campaign. I just hate the body block, yeah. It's bad because you lose XP. I mean, you just have to kill more then. You can't skip as much. But that is like balanced out by you not being like blocked by everything. All right, so I like this. I like everything about the campaign changes. I think that is everything like that is just good. To make the campaign more smooth is always a good thing. Okay. Player changes. Bleed damage on players is no longer increased while the player is moving. Okay, perfect. This change does not affect bleeds players applied to monsters. Okay, god damn it. Thank god. God damn, that was painful sometimes. When you were getting the bleed debuff and you're just like you're running and you don't notice and you're just dead. Your maximum runic ward is now added to your starting honor when beginning Trial of Secamas. Okay. The defenses keyword is no longer in use. Existing uses of the word defenses now explicitly refer to armor, evasion, and energy shield. Okay. To make it more clear that these modifiers do not apply runic ward, resistance, block, or other forms of protection, or purely a description change. Only a single Leech instance per resource can apply at a time. When multiple Leech instances are active, only the one with the highest recovery rate will recover you until it expires. After which, the next highest recovery rate will apply instantly. Instance will apply. That's a massive nerf to Leech. That is a massive nerf to Leech and a massive nerf to the Leeching Life DOC archetype. Spell, Leech, DOC. Hold on, you can't leech mana and life at the same time? No, I think what this means is that they can't overlap. They can't overlap anymore. You can't leech. You can't start a leech and then overlap the next leech on top of that. That was the reason why you were able to just leech like thousands and thousands and thousands of life over like a single second. You apply a leech now, and that leech counts. The highest leech, there will only be one instant of leech. How will it work with insta-leech? I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. That is a crazy nerf. I think that is good though. I think honestly, I think that is good. Even though I am someone, Miso really hit the call with the leech. Yeah, he did. He did. That was what Miso called, right? So insta leech was removed. Okay, spoiler. I think this is a really good change. So as someone, even as someone who likes Blood Mage, I do think you shouldn't be pressured. You shouldn't be pressured to play like a the builds that you see, the one-shot COC Comet builds. You need to play a Blood Mage, or you need to use a Covenant for that to have the maximum damage output. And I don't think that it's bad that they kind of removed that, because it makes other casters more viable now. It makes other casters not be like always compared to the Blood Mage all the time. Right? Let's go Leech. Exactly. Wait. You kind of took what I was saying there, and I was about to say, and you know who gets buffed passively by that? The Lich. There's now a limit on the maximum amount of damage a hit can be considered to deal for a Leech. Yeah, more Leech nerfs. Hits that deal less than 40,000 total damage are unaffected, but if a hit would deal more than 40,000 total damage, it is treated as dealing only 40,000 damage for purpose of Leech calculation. Okay. So it's capped as well. This means that extremely high damage hits stop improving Leech past a certain point, but increasing your Leech percentage will always increase the amount of resource you are gaining. Okay. So the amount of max Leech is 40k HP per second. No, the maximum damage that gets counted for your Leech is 40k. But you won't, if you have 100% Leech, then yes. But you won't have 100% Leech. Okay, so it's capped as well. I'm gonna upgrade this to a heavy Leech nerf. The formula for chance to deflect. Okay, so Leech, yeah, Leech. Heavily adjusted, which I think this is a good. I think this is good. I like this. Even as a caster player, especially as a caster player, I like this. I do like this because it removes, or it puts a cap on the Blood Mage dominance that we've had for too many leagues now. Is Leech dead then? No, Leech isn't dead. It's just capped. It's not going to be as ridiculous as it was before. I do think this is better because the Blood Mage dominance in the caster area, like look at PoE Ninja right now. Like PoE Ninja. Look at just caster builds in PoE 2. It's like, it's Blood Mage and then it's Blood Mage. And then where's the next caster? Stormweaver, 5%. The Varashta, 5%. Lich, 2%. Infernalist, 2%. Like... Oracle and Pathfinder can be caster. Yeah, Titan can be caster. I meant like the caster, the classic caster archetype. You can be caster Warbringer if you want to. I meant like from the archetype standpoint. Okay. The new chance to deflect is math. Okay, someone that has a brain can explain this. Is this a nerf buff? I'm gonna assume it's a buff. Deflect is slightly better. Okay, perfect. Parry, shield block, and resonating shield no longer delay heavy stun buildup from decaying longer than expected. Melee attacks can now apply splash damage once per damaging area. Some attacks create multiple damaging areas during use. For example, Whirling Assault creates multiple damaging areas around you as you move. What? Melee buff. Wait, this is a melee buff. No? I didn't quite understand that. Melee attacks can now apply splash damage. Once per damaging area. Some attacks create multiple damaging areas during use. Rolling Assault creates multiple damaging areas around you as you move. Only once. Ah, okay. Wait, what? Was that a thing before that it applied more than once? So the overlap is just... Oh. Did the people see that? That they want to play martial artists now? Or is everyone... The nerf? Yeah. That's a massive nerf to Whirling Assault. Okay. When minions are removed due to resource changing, such as weapon swapping, younger, newer minions are now prioritized for removal over older minions to avoid wasting minion cooldown abilities unnecessarily. Okay. Minions affected by Last Gasp support or Tekron's Revenge linear support and totem affected by unnamed Hardwood Oracle notable passive tree can no longer die during the effect from taking further damage exceeding their maximum life. Okay. Stats worded as when you collect a remnant no longer give you the benefits of these stats when an ally shares the effects of a remnant with you. Updated the name of the buff that Trinity grants to Affinity, also as Resonance is the name of a keystone passive skill. This is purely a description update. Archon buffs are no longer inherently lost when you attack. This is now a property of Elemental Archon specifically. Okay. Did plants survive? We haven't got there yet. We haven't got there. I kind of made a bet yesterday that I'm worried.
Degenerates, low-lives, thugs, criminals!
Snoozer with the 8-month resub. Thank you so much. New content and features. Introduce Martial Artist Ascendancy and Spirit Walker Ascendancy. And now we have... Damn. A lot of new lineage supports. We haven't gotten to balance changes yet, guys. We are getting there. We're 1 hour in and we're gonna get there. New lineage support. Arbiter's Reach, Breach Lord. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of these. Let's see what those are. Let's see what those are. New lineage supports. These are probably tied to the League mechanics, I would assume. New uniques. Can we maybe get something out of the names for these? Barracks? Who's Barrack? Any PV1 lore knowers? I saw Mageblood. Yeah, I mean, that we know. Lore Weave. Lore Weave. Has 6 sockets in PV1. All attributes. Add physical damage. Global critical strike chance. Maximum energy shield. Okay. Barracks Respite. Fire and lightning resistance. Fire damage to spells and attacks. Increased lightning damage. When you kill a shocked enemy, inflict an equivalent shock on an enemy nearby. Okay, when you kill an ignited enemy, inflict an equivalent ignite on a nearby enemy. Lore Weave is made out of 60 breach rings. Okay. Love these rings? Yeah. This is like for a shock ignite caster. Oh, wait. I mean, this is how it works differently in PvE1, right? In PvE1, it adds fire damage to spells and attacks. That is not gonna work the same way in PvE2. Alright. A bunch of new uniques. Bunch of new lineage support gems. Nice. Demon Mummy Infernalist with Barracks Grippy. Okay. Added new... added... Added 8 new idols that come exclusively from monsters possessed by Ismerian spirits. Added the new Minion Splash and Minion Splash 2 strength support gems. So many minion calls already here. These support skills create minions which strike, causing those minion strikes to have melee splash. Right, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. Split personality. Wait, is that in here? Split personality. Good find. You can keep linking those if you want to. This jewel socket has 25% increased effect per allocated skills in between. Ooh, new jewel. Yeah, so this is just support gem 1 and support gem 2. And since Minion Splash 1, that's probably like a level 1 support gem then, right? These support skills which create minions that strike, causing those minions to strike, have melee splash. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. You just get melee, because melee minions, they are bad for clear, right? You never use melee minions for clear. Minions are not cool. Okay, okay, sorry. Sorry. The Fragment Stash tab is now available for use in PoE 2. Thank God. It can hold your fragments, including breach, splinters. Thank God. Yes. Melee Splash on the big gorilla. That's a companion, right? You mean the companion? Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, the quadrilla, right? Wait! The unique tamed beast. Unique tamed beast, monkey. Like the big slam. It will splash with this. Log in. It's AoE already. Only strikes. Isn't that a strike? Isn't the bonk thing, isn't that a strike? I feel like that's a strike. No? Okay, yeah. Fragment Stash tab added. Added support for build guides. Yes. When will this go online? Build files for players to download when selected in the client. These will show you everything you need to know for the build, including passive skills to allocate, which ascendancy passive to take, skill gems to equip, as well as recommendations for support gems. When is this gonna go live? Because how will that look on like launch? Like when it goes live on launch, and am I gonna sit there for 3 hours before playing the game, making the build guide or in game, or? Likely? Oh god. So I'm not gonna play the game for 3 hours on launch, and I'm just gonna sit there and make the guides for you in the game. Added the ability to quickly search the trade market with yes, and then you monetize it. There you go. Yes, whip sound. Added the ability to quickly search the trade market with an item you have. Yeah, the price checker basically. In party play, you can now quickly revive any fallen party members after defeating the boss. You can now skip dialogue sequences with NPCs by pressing escape. Thank you. New meta for speedrunners. And we're not gonna play until you finish, yeah. Alright. Alright. Okay, we're getting into the... Okay, now we're getting into the big stuff. Now... everything we've read unto this point was kind of, yeah, that was like, yay stuff. But now we're going into the balance changes. Acolyte of Chayula. Into the Breach skill. Granted by the Waking Dream notable passive, she now grants 20% Leech of your maximum life to you when collecting a red flame of Chayula, previously 15, and Leech 20 of your maximum mana, previously 15. Slight buff. The wording of the Into the Breach skill has also... Oh, wait, I need to turn on music again, sorry. Oh, that's way too loud. Okay. Into the Breach now applies modifiers to Remnant pickup range to the range of which flames of Chayula can be seen. This is purely a visual change, okay. Very, very slight buff to Chayula. Sanctuary was also there, this one. What are we seeing? Joffrey's Sanctuary. +2 energy shield per 5 strength. Zealous Oath. Okay. Yeah, that could also be an interesting one in PoE 2. That's like a very defensive armor, right? It's armor energy shield base in PoE 1 at least. Could be very interesting in PoE 2. Alright. Blood Mage. The Vitality Siphon notable passive skill now grants 20% of spell damage leached as life, previously 10. So they did test this. They did test the Leech on the Blood Mage and they seemed like... And then they went like, oh shit, this is actually... This affects the Blood Mage this much that we need to double the spell leech that the Blood Mage gets, right? So Blood Mage has double spell damage leech now. Because probably the Leech changes that we've read earlier were probably very affecting here, right? So I don't think I should put this down as a Blood Mage buff, because Blood Mage got heavily nerfed with the Leech stuff. So I won't put this down as like a Blood Mage nerf. There's no way, right? You can't do that. Call it compensation, yeah. That's a good call. Blood Mage compensated for Leech being shot dead. Right? I think that's a... I think you can definitely say that. Alright, I mean, Chronomancer. Wait, are we gonna see the martial artist, the 4 martial artist notes here? The Rapid River notable passive skill has been removed. Its position is now taken by Now and Again. Now and Again has been reworked. It now grants cascadable skills have 20% chance to echo and repeatable skills have 20% chance to repeat. I think this note is kind of meh. I don't know. I'd rather have guaranteed stuff rather than 20% chance to echo a spell. I don't really see this here. The Unbound and Core notable passive skill has taken the previous position of Now and Again. Ultimate Command notable passive skill is now requires Unbound and Core. So they moved it around a little bit. I'm not sure about the Chrono here. I really like the defensive notable. Like you guys know how much I like defensive notables on Ascendancies. That's why my favorite Ascendancy is the Lich, if you didn't know. But everything else I don't know about. I don't know about. Inevitable Agony is still the same. It just has visual indicators now. I don't think that's gonna be really good. Dance of Time is still the same. Oh wait, it grants skill speed now instead of cast speed. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. I think that is actually a very, very interesting change. Skill speed is massively different to cast speed. This is interesting. I'm gonna put this down. I think I don't know yet what this. I don't know like exactly what this can mean, but I do think that is like very, very, very. There's some possibilities here. Is it just attack and spells work both? Yeah, I think that could be. I think that could be something. So, Gemling Legionnaire. We saw the video. We saw the I don't think we need to watch the video again, right? On Chronomancer and Gemling Legionnaire, we saw all of the stuff that we get there. This is just the only thing that we didn't see in the video. Like, we didn't know it was faster portal out to refill mana flasks. I think that's action speed. Oh, okay, Pathfinder. The overwhelming toxicity notable passive skill now grants 50% less poison duration. Previously 35. The running assault notable passive skill now grants 30% less movement speed penalty from using skills while moving, previously 50. Pathfinder, especially poison Pathfinder nerf. Noticeable nerf, yeah. Obsessive Rituals now grant 50% less armor and evasion rating, previously 30%. Okay. Movement speed penalty nerf as well. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like... People whine so much in the comments for the Witch Hunter. I mean, I think that's fine. You sure about nerf? Less duration means shorter time to deal total dot damage? I don't know, but yeah, you might be right. I don't know. I'm just gonna go PF nerf. Less sorcery reward, but buff gear, yeah. Yeah, it was 50% in 0.1, then 35, and then now they change it back to 50 again. Okay. Alright, passive tree changes. Added 19 new companion-themed passive skills to the passive tree. Added 9 new life recoup speed passive skills to the passive tree. Added a new Archon of Undeath cluster to the Witch Sorceress area. Archon of Undeath. Is that chaos damage based? Or physical? Arc on these nuts. Okay. Sounds minion. Undead. Chaos. Sounds minion related. Please don't be minion related. Please be like... You think this is minion related? Why would you have an Archon for minions though? Because the Archon effect is something that your character benefits from. Why would you... 100% plant damage? I don't think it's plants. I think this might be chaos or like chaos physical hybrid. Please. Oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Most likely gives an effect to your minions from Archon. But why? Really? I think undead. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I want to see that. That's something I need to note down to search for immediately once we once we get the patch and once the once it launches. That's something I need to look for immediately. Alright, Ancestral Bond Keystone passive skill now causes placing totems to have no cost and not require consuming charges to place. It still causes totems to reserve 75 spirit each and now doubles totem limit instead of removing it completely. Totem buff? What? Totem buff? What did Palsron say about this? That's a cool change, I think. Yeah, no charges, I think is amazing. Where is that on the passive tree? Because that might also be crazy for ED Contagion. Like, you just take that for ED Contagion. Right? Yes, yeah. I mean, I went here anyway. You go here anyway with ED Contagion. How many, like... How many... Oh my... I'm seeing a build already in my head right now. 75 spirit though? 75 spirit totem each. Yeah, we need to see how it looks. And then you take the totem nodes here. How many dark effigy totems would be realistic? Like 4, 5, 6? Pub is updated already? No. Yeah, we need to see. We need to see. I think it could be... I think it could be interesting. Like, as it looks right now, I'm 100% league starting Lich. Like, no matter. I don't expect changes to either ED Contagion or plans, even though we haven't gotten there yet. I don't expect changes to those. I'm 100% starting Lich. Like, Lich just looks... Or, like, looks just... Because there's a possibility also for minions. Maybe. Plans buffed? Stop. Don't do this to me. Lich just seems so good in this, like, update so far. Like, Lich seems fucking amazing. And I'm not biased here, okay? It's my favorite ascendancy. I'm not biased at all. Trusted Kinship Keystone passive skill now grants 30% more reservation efficiency of companion skills and 20% less reservation efficiency of non-companion skills. Okay. No longer provides you have 30% less defenses or companions have +1. Okay. Yeah. Ballpack Keystone now grants 50% more amount of life leeched. 6-7 less life leech speed. Did they do this on purpose? Come on, chat. Get it out. Get it out before you... Before you, like, a blood vessel pops in your brain or something. Less life leech speed cannot recover life other than form of leech. Okay, and life leech effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. It no longer provides life leech is instant or cannot use life flask. Okay, interesting. I wonder how leech will look in 0.5. I wonder how that will look. Abyss Lich specifically? Yes. You mean for plants? Yes. Rupture the Flesh is insane. It's insanely good. I don't think people realize how good Rupture the Flesh is, especially as a league starter. because it doesn't scale on your gear. You can have absolutely shit gear, but as long as you kill something that is cursed, the monster explodes, and the damage it deals is based on the monster's life, not your gear. That is why Plants Abyssal Lich is such a good League starter. I have Lich in my League starters, but I'm kind of sick of ED Contagion. Yeah, that's why you can play Lich Plants. I think you overrated a little bit. Yeah, maybe. I'm not like saying that's 100% true. I always state that I'm biased on this. I've stated multiple times that I'm biased on Lich stuff because I like it. You sure Lich Plants work? Let's go into my hardcore character. Let's go into this hardcore character that I have here. Because someone just said, you sure Lich Plants works? So this is my hardcore character, right? So this character is optimized not even for damage or speed. This character is optimized to not die. So let's see if Lich Plants works. Rip incoming? Nope. Yeah, we can do Delirium even. One button build? Yeah, basically. Rip for the clip. No, it's literally unkillable. How much energy shield do you have? 13,000. Oh yeah, wait. Let's change the camera here. What are the explosions? Rupture the flesh and detonate dead. So the monsters explode when they die due to rupture the flesh, and then they explode again on detonate dead. This is no headhunter, by the way, right? No headhunter, no like crazy gear, no speed rite of passage, no blink. So this is like the slowest version. We don't even have Tech Rod's Gaze in our boots for 10% more movement speed. Like this is the absolute slowest version of this. This is the hardcore version. That staff is kind of good. Yeah, that's the staff that you can have on trade in like 3 days. Do you have plans for 0.5 yet? Yeah, probably this. Probably this. Imagine this with Headhunter, by the way. Or like any sort of movement speed buff or... Mage Blood, yeah. So yeah, Lich Plans works. Okay, why is it unkillable? 15,000 energy shield, damage reduction. Their guide for Lich Plans. Yes. Good thing that you asked. If you also wanna do Abyssal Lich Plans for 0.5 League start, good thing that you ask. You just favorite this guide on Mobalytics. You favorite this, and then you can follow it for free. Don't believe Senny in chat right now that says I'm paywalling this. For free. Is this gonna be like a good thing now that you say that your bills are for free? So I'm gonna update, like this is completely updated now. This is gonna be updated even more, and as soon as I start 0.5, everything will be in there. If you wanna league start plans, but you don't wanna play Lich, I also have the Oracle plans built on my Mobalytics as well. So, and if you want to start ED Contagion, that's also on my Mobalytics. Amazing. Will Mobalytics have links to the build files once they go live? Yes. Just click the link and it asks me for my credit card information. That's not true. I already have your credit card information. How about that? Where were we? Where were we on this? On these fucking patch notes? Where were we? Adamant recovery. God. Which better? I personally think for plants, Abyssal Lich is better. I like Abyssal Lich more. Yo, Busty with the Prime. First making us laugh and then with the Prime. Thank you so much. Okay. Adamant recovery notable has been replaced by Fortified Aegis, which grants 100% increased armor, evasion, and energy from equipped shield. Arcane Mixtures notable now grants 10% cast speed if you have used a mana effect recently. That's nice for Laviangas. That's nice for, like, the Laviangas, right? I'm insanely hyped. I want to play now. Yes. What level do you get the Abyssal Lich? No, no level. You just have to... You just have to do Kulamak. You just have to do the Abyss boss, and then you can become a Abyssal Lich. Plans for Gemling. I don't think so. I think starting on the bottom of the passive tree for plants is probably the worst thing you can do. Yeah, like that is... This start here on the passive tree for plants is... I don't think even bad is doing it right. Awful, I think is the word. Oh, it doesn't say during the effect of a mana flask. Okay. Is there something like casting Cascade notable passive tree, passive skill now grants 6% cast speed for each different spell you've cast in the last 8 seconds, previously 4. Okay, they buffed that a little bit. Bastion of the Forest notable skill now grants 10% faster start of energy shield recharge, previously 15, slight nerf to energy shield recharge. Chakra of Breathing notables now grants faster start to energy shield recharge instead of 1% increased energy shield recharge per dexterity. That's another slight nerf to energy shield recharge. Commanding Rage now grants 2% minion attack speed per 5 rage, previously 1. Yeah, they buffed minions again. Does Gazi have like does Gazi has like dirt on GGG balance team or something? Why is there's so much minion stuff in here and everything, it's positive. Ah, it's 2 per 5 rage. I thought it was 1 per 5 rage before. Yeah, I didn't... Like, this was confusing to me because I thought that it was like previously 1% per 5 rage. Okay, never mind. Never mind, actually GGG hates Gazi. Sorry, yeah, sorry. Convalescence notable passive skill now grants 20% faster start of energy shield recharge, previously 40. And 10% reduced energy shield recharge rate, previously 15. So another slight nerf to energy shield recharge delay. Another slight nerf to energy shield recharge. The core of the Guardian notable now grants 30% increased block chance and now 20% reduced maximum energy shield. Previously 100% increased armor. Okay, that's fine. Covering ward now 25 energy shield when you block. Previously 20. Okay. Braving Slaughter notable passive now grants 15% max rage if you've used a skill that requires glory. Okay, I guess. The Critical Overload notable passive skill now provides 15% increased critical spell damage bonus, previously 50% increased spell damage if you dealt a critical hit recently. That's good. Isn't that good? Or would you say that 15% spell damage here is better? This one, right? Yeah. nerf in my opinion. Yeah, especially because it's so early on, right? Spell damage is better. Yeah, probably. True. Very slight nerf. I would describe that as you wouldn't notice if they didn't say that. Deadly Force, notable passive skill, now provides a 15% increased critical hit chance. Previously 10 and 50% increased damage if you've dealt a critical hit in the past 8 seconds. Previously 25. Another nerf to crit. The crit archetype. Dependable Ward, notable passive skill, now grants 8 to chaos resistance and 12 fastest start of energy shield recharge. Previously 25. Damn, they nerfed, like, they are nerfing energy shield recharge a lot. Instead of just nerfing energy shield. I think that's the right approach. At least we get chaos res now. Yes, got nerfed hard. I mean, so far, I think that's fine. The Devoted Protector notable passive skill now grants 10% instead of 15. Another slight nerf to energy shield recharge. Echoing Pulse now grants echoed spells have 20% increased area of effect. It no longer grants final repeat of spells. The Efferscent notable passive skill now grants 4% cast speed for each different spell. Did we have that already? Energizing Archon notable passive skill now grants 30% increased Archon duration instead of 40% energy shield recharge rate while affected by an Archon buff. Okay. I mean, no one, thank God no one cares about Archons. That would be a big nerf to energy shield recharge. Or can I frame this? Oh, this is... wait, sorry. Thank you, Ronald, for your input. Thank you. I wouldn't have... The first time chat just makes it so much better. Thank you, Ronald. I wouldn't have known, to be honest. Pin it, brother. Don't be mean to new viewers. Oh, sorry. He is about... I wasn't making... No, I wasn't making fun of the spelling errors. I was making fun of the whole thing of, like, we're going through the patch notes. Like, and I'm going through stuff, and it's like, there's like a note here, or there's like a note in the patch notes here where I'm reading, like, this means X and Y, and someone just goes in the chat, this means X and Y. Yeah, we can read it. Patch notes are live. What? Patch notes are live right now. Okay. Energizing Deflection notable passive skill now grants 12% faster energy shield recharge instead of 30. Oh, it's faster start now instead of recharge rate. I think we can kind of say here, energy shield recharge and delay nerfed. That's fine. I think that's fine.
I've got news for you.
News for you. You're mine now. You belong to me. Look who it is. The brand risk streamer.
You're not gonna have your mommy stand behind you anymore and wipe your little tushes. Degenerates. Oh no.
It's time now to turn this mush into muscles. Lustriga with the resub as well. Look who it is. Isn't it Guy That Dies? Brand risk, paywall, streamer, aficionado, Twister, savant. What is it? What is it? Guy that paywalls? Guy that guides now? Rebranded? Scum? No. Dude, Guy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Welcome in, people of Guy That Dies stream. My name is Dead Rabbit. I suck at this game. So, hey! We have something in common, at least. Right? Okay, we're going through patch notes right now. Hi, Guy That Paywall's here. What up, Guy? Wait, I need to... there you go. Type again. You're banned now. Guy that loses 1k. Okay, that's unfair. Okay, that's not cool. Enjoy the stream, look. Gotta eat and cook. Do some build videos. Dude, this guy never stops working. Thank you so much for the raid. Once again, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. We are still going through patch notes, and honestly, we have just reached the juicy part, to be honest. Yo, Deverlane with the gift sub 2 guy that dies. Who is that? I've heard that name before. Thank you. We're going through the patch notes, and we're kind of getting into the juicy stuff. The energy shield recharge and delay nerf. That's where we are right now. Kinda. That's where we are. Fast metabolism, notable passive skill, now grants 40% increased damage while leeching life. Previously, life leech effects are not removed when unreserved. Yeah, this is just more on the heavy leech nerf, right? Like heavy leech nerf. You can like how would you describe that? Like compile them or like compound them? You can't really compound the leech anymore, so fast metabolism just didn't really have a place there, right? I think, yeah. I think we need to see it like in game, but it's... Is anyone else having problem with 7TV? Yeah, you just need to reinstall. You can't stack the leech, exactly. Travesty. Travesty with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. GGG triple tap. Yeah, I think it's definitely safe to say that Leech definitely got a real triple tap. Like, I don't think that is unfair to say that Leech actually got like the actual triple tap. Leech seems to be dead, or not dead, but it seems not to be like the archetype anymore for Cloudcasters. And also insta Leech, right? Leech nerf a little at Xephas? I personally don't think so. Are you happy I survived? I don't know anything yet, brother. I've just gone into the section here. I'm down to do a call once I'm done. Alright, fortifying blood, notable passive skill now grants 50% increased amount of life leech, previously 20. That's another one. Goring, notable passive skill no longer grants 40% increased physical damage. Now it grants 3% increased maximum life and 20% increased amount of life leeched. Previously 3% reduced maximum life and 30% increased maximum life reached. Okay. Okay. Immortal Infamy notable now grants 6% increased life recovery instead of 10% increased energy shield recharge rate. Okay, they really don't want us to recharge energy shield that fast anymore. Which is kinda deserved, I think. It is kinda deserved. The lifelong friend and nurturing guardian notable passive skills have swapped positions. Okay. They just swapped a lifelong friend of ours. No, my 1 second 10k ES recharge. Wait, that's not a problem, right? If anyone's watching the stream and cannot type, update. Yeah, I know. That's the pinned message in my stream as well. Update your 7TV, exactly. If you are in the chat right now, PSA, if you are in the chat right now, update your 7TV so you can type in my chat. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. I just saw patient barrier. Okay. Oh, God. It's not a... Dude, that's fine. Mystic Sands, 12% instead of 30. That's crazy. Okay, Mystic Stance is crazy. That is more than 50%. Where is Mystic Stance? Oh, it's this one. I mean, no one cares. Patient Barrier now grants 50% maximum energy shield instead of 60. Dude, that is okay. I think the energy shield people got off really easy here. We got off kind of easy here. Okay, quick response. That is especially important to Lich. The quick response notable passive skill now grants 10% faster start of energy shield recharge, previously 20. And 20% faster start of energy shield charge when not a full life, previously 30. Also okay. Rapid recharge notable. I guess what this is going to be now grants 12% faster start and 12% increased energy shield recharge. Both previously, both of 25. That's okay. Wow. Wow. The refocus notable passive skill now grants 20% increased mana regeneration rate while stationary instead of 30. Increased energy shield recharge rate. Okay. The Shattered Palm notable passive skill now grants 20% increased critical damage bonus, previously 10% to days. Wait, is that this cluster right here? Ah, no, it isn't. Okay, Storm Charged. Now provides damage, penetrates 8% of enemy elemental resistances and 5% increased cast speed with the elemental skills. It no longer provides 15% increased critical hit chance or 40% increased elemental damage if you've dealt a critical hit recently. Wow, Storm Charge nerfed. Damn. Yeah, wow. Which build do you want to play this league? It's looking like I'm starting Lich plants. I'm probably starting Lich plants. Unless there's like changes in here that don't do that. Because I honestly think, like reading all of these energy shield changes, I don't think that's gonna be... I think energy shield is still gonna be the best defensive layer in the game. It's still gonna be the best defensive layer in the game. Yes, we won't have 1 second 10k ES recharge again. Ward might be. Yeah, but Ward you can just add onto everything, right? That doesn't really do anything to energy shield or either way. Did you really take the ES recharge notes in softcore anyways? Exactly last one. Exactly almost last one. No, you didn't really. What you do in softcore is you get just to a specific amount of energy shield so you don't get one shot all the time. And we still have that. I took several. Yeah, but still, if you still take them, you still have a positive effect. I don't think this is like... I couldn't really not get spoiled this morning because everyone was blowing up my Discord and everything being like, energy shield heavily nerfed, like energy shield dead. I don't see it that way. I don't think it is reasonable to say that energy shield is dead or like it is destroyed or whatever. I don't think that is reasonable. It's still very, very good. It's still very, very good. Show me another notable on the passive tree where you just get 50% increased to your defensive layer. Everyone was blowing you this morning? That's not what I'm saying. I didn't say that. Also, maybe. Why do you care? They barely touched BM. That's not true, Rhino. They did touch BM heavily because they nerfed Leech. That is a nerf to BM. Blood Mage got like collateral damaged by the Leech stuff. They didn't need to change anything about Blood Mage because the main thing why Blood Mage is not as good as it was before is the Leech. So basically they want us to die, I see. Yeah, the game wants to... The game kinda... The monsters and everything in the game, yeah. Where were we? Where were we? Yo! Travesty with another 5. Thank you. Another one. Thank you. Oh, we have people in chat who got one. Nice. Thank you, Travesty. Welcome back, dude. Was your Choir of Storm Autobomber build nerfed? I'm assuming there's gonna be something in here with the infinite loop. I'm assuming there's gonna be something in here for that. Alright, where were we? Wide Barrier notable. Passive skill now grants 30% increased block chance and 20% reduced armor. Okay. Voracious notable passive skill no longer grants life leeches instant and now grants increased attack speed while leeching. Ugh. Yeah, okay, so no more instant leech at all. Leech in general capped to a specific amount. Yeah. Very nice. The Wyvern's Breath notable passive skill has been updated and now provides 40% increased elemental ailment application if you have shapeshifted to an animal form. No, thank you. Okay. The first 2 small spell damage passive skills at the starting area of the passive tree for the Witch and Sorceress now provide 10% increase of instead of 8. Dude! What? That's insane. Huge. That's insane. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Small passive skills that grant faster start of energy shield recharge now have values of 6, previously 15. Okay, that's... Okay. Small passive skills that granted energy shield recharge rate have been removed from the passive skill tree and replaced by faster start of energy shield recharge at a lower value. Okay. That's probably the biggest nerf to energy shield recharge. That's probably the biggest one. 07 Blue Life? I don't think that's true. I think Blue Life is still gonna be very, very good. Especially if you introduce some... Isn't there still ways to recoup energy shield? Like, imagine recoup is good now, and you go for the recoup energy shield instead of life stuff. Could be nice. Make ES crap, won't fix the armor and evasion problems. I don't think ES, like I'm gonna stand on business here. I do not think, and you can clip this if you want to and send it to me in 2 weeks. I don't think that ES is crap now. I think ES is still extremely good. The small banner area tactician. Okay. Banner effect. Okay. All right. Are we... Okay, we are in the juicy stuff now. We are in the skill changes now. Skills with a fixed number of projectiles, such as Glacial Lens, can now benefit from effects that cause projectile count modifiers to apply to something else instead, such as Ricochet 3 support. Okay. Skills which have a cost of 0 mana now display this cost. This allows players to distinguish between skills like default attacks, which do not have a cost at all. Okay. Crossbow ammunition skills now have a base cost of 0 rather than having their cost completely disabled, meaning that effects that add additional cost will now apply to them. Okay. For ES to be bad, you would need other defense to be way better. Exactly. In comparison, I do think that ES is still gonna be kind of on top. I do think ES is still kinda on top. Right? I would need to see more to not think that. Than just nerfing ES recharge and ES recovery rate. I don't know. Having 3 seconds ES recharge delay is still very good. If you have like, I don't know, 4 to 5k ES recharge per second. That's still amazing. I don't know. What is it on my... Like, this is ridiculous, right? So this character here has 1.5 seconds and 23,000 energy shield recharge per second. That's... This, like, I'm a player that enjoys this, and I think that is that is way too good. Compare this to any other defensive player in the game. This is just 1.5 seconds for 23,000 recharge per second. That is not okay. 2.3k. Yeah, what am I saying? 2.3k. Yeah. 23,000, 2,300, yes. English is my second language, okay. So, I think we're gonna be fine. The Blue Life enjoyers are fine. Oh no, I see. I see Bone Storm. Wait, I didn't read Bone Storm. Oh no. I just saw Bone Storm in there. Okay, ignites inflicted on targets by oil ground that has been ignited can no longer compound. Okay, yeah, so the oil grenade bug is gone. Oil grenade bug gone. All command skills now have 50% movement speed penalty during skill use, previously 70. Okay, that's cool. Another minion buff. Another minion buff. Align Fate, granted by the Oracle's Fateful Vision notable passive, now has modifiers to cooldown recovery rate also applied to Visage appearance frequency? Ah, okay. That's the shitty Oracle node that no one uses. Right? Align Fate or whatever, right? Where is it? This one. Another Gazi buff, yeah. Alright. Answers to Warrior Totem no longer has a hidden 0.6 second cooldown delay between skill uses. Instead, this delay is now 50% of the skill's attack time and is described accordingly to the skill. Okay. Okay. Bolt Storm no longer has the sustain tagged. Okay. So? What does that do? Nothing. Why did it have sustained? Doesn't change anything. It can't crit on each spike. You think? So you just either crit or you don't? Doesn't it change the Living Lightning interaction? It shouldn't. Just more consistent damage, yeah. It can either you crit in all of them or none. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Either all spikes crit or non-crit. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's gonna be very juicy because imagine you get like a crit on all the spikes doing like a map boss or something. Doing like a campaign boss or something. Imagine you crit with it now. Living Lightning Bone Storm tech nerfed. Not fine. Okay, then describe to me how this nerfs. How the removal of the sustain tag removes the Living Lightning interaction. You need to explain it to me before you say stuff like that. How does that remove the Living Lightning interaction? I would like to, like here if you know. Because now 20 procs hit all at once instead of 20 different procs of Living Lightning. But it still works, it just doesn't work as it did before. One hit instead of 20. I mean, even without Living Lightning, like, let's say Living Lightning is completely out of the picture, Bone Storm is still massive damage. Like, Bone Storm is not just massive damage because of Living Lightning. Less efficient for Living Lightning. Okay. Yeah, okay. I get it. That's fine. Yeah. Alright. Bone Shattered. Quality now grants 0 to 20 increased attack speed. Previously 0 to 30. Okay, so slight Bone Shatter nerf, but apparently you can still move with Bone Shatter, right? So Prada's alive. Just Living Lightning on Thunderstorm? That's what I do anyway, yeah. Like, on my plant build, I do Living Lightning on Bones on Thunderstorm anyway. So if you're playing plants, it's like we're still alive. Like that is nothing. If we go onto the plants Abyssal Lich. But why Living Lightning? Because of the Impale extraction. Have you decided what to start with? It's looking like plants. Plants, Abyssal Lich, and then just Abyssal Lich, and then go into anything. So we just go Living Lightning anyway in Thunderstorm, so easy peasy. Very good. Alright, Comet now deals 212 to 318 cold damage at gem level 11. Light nerf, it looks like. Scaling up to 787. Previously 829. Also like a slight nerf. Fire Infused Comet now deals less damage as well. Okay, so Comet basically just nerfed a little bit. Slap on the wrist. But the big nerf, once again, the big nerf to COC Comet is Leech. That is the big nerf to cast on crit Comet. The Leech nerfs are actually what counts here as the actual nerfs. Pull the Weak now can't be evaded, now deals more attack damage. Yes. Attack speed is now 75% of base. Okay. Defiance Banner. Anyone cares? Earthquake. Aftershock deals more damage. Okay. Earthquake buff. Eternal Rage can no longer be activated in specific weapon sets. It now requires to be active in both weapon sets and will fail to activate if that's not possible. Okay. Feral Invocation no longer bypasses the cooldown of socketed skills. Fragmentation rounds. Quality grants more fragments per shot. Freezing Salvo, more magnitude of chill. Gathering Storm. Now causes perfectly timed dash to explode any Tempest spell on it, creating a massive shockwave that deals attack damage on these gem levels. Shock ground is left in the wake of Tempest Shockwave, previously perfect dash. Shockwave is now limit to 50. Quality now grants that they probably don't want people one-shotting stuff with Gathering Storm, I guess. Comet mana cost is really high though, no? Yeah, exactly. That's why people were not using Comet with mana costs. They were using it with Life and Life Leech. And since Life Leech is heavily nerfed, I don't know if that will still be the meta. Isn't that a Gathering Storm buff? Honestly, I don't know. You jump 3 rows? Yeah, but like, yeah, Fortifying Cry, okay. Flame Breath, okay. It's a massive nerf to Gathering Storm, okay. Thank you for explaining. Perfect. Ghost Dance. The interval between gaining Ghost Shrouds is no longer a duration. It now has modifiers to cooldown recovery rate. Also applies to Ghost Shroud to gain frequency. It now also has a when hit lose a Ghost Shroud and regenerate energy shield to 2% of your evasion rating per second if you have lost a Ghost Shroud recently. Now gains a Ghost Shroud every 10 seconds at gem levels 4 to 20. Okay. The Fortifying Cry is a big nerf to Shield Wall. Really? Oof. That's unfortunate. For the Warriors. How's Angormus doing then? Fortifying Cry 60% or more is nerfed to classic Shield Wall build. Okay. Grim Feast. Grim Resurrection now has a 1 second cooldown. Ice Shot. Ice Shards no longer have 20% more, 25% more freeze buildup. Okay. Very slight nerf to Ice Shot. Very slight. Ice Strike. Quality now grants increased attack speed. Ooh, Ice Strike buff. Hello. Buff to Ice Strike. Lightning Arrow. Multiple lightning beams are no longer be able to chain onto the same target. Ooh. That's a nerf. Oh wait, I didn't read it right. Oh, I fell again for the more and increased. I can't read. I can't read. It was more before and now it's increased. I got tricked again. Yeah, what? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Yeah, Lightning Arrow, that's a nerf. That's a nerf. Even I know that's a nerf. The multiple lightning beams no longer be able to chain onto the same target. That is a nerf. Because that kind of, I want to see that as, I want to see the damage on that now with the lightning rods and everything. Because you used, like, the thing, Fob uses Ice Shot anyway. Excuse me, sir. When do you get Ice Shot? I'm waiting. 31. Yes. And what do you do before that? Lunar Blessing. Try. Okay. Twister. Twisters. Okay. Triggered moonbeams are no longer considered melee skills. Wait, are you telling me Twisters is not in here? Oh, I saw Snipe. Wait, Twisters is not in here? Okay. Abyssal Lich. Abyssal Lich Twisters. How we doing? How we doing? Do I need to pull up the Prada video? Like, are you ready for this?
Alright, bros, just gonna jump.
Are we ready for this? Are we ready? Abyssal Lich, I'm telling you. The best Twister class. The best Twister ascendancy. Looks okay? Yeah. That looks really bad. No one should play it. How easy it is to achieve that though? Pretty easy. On Abyssal Lich, pretty easy because you just need Spirit. And there you go. You just need Spirit and one support gem. Twister Lich then? Yeah, that's pretty likely now. Control F search for Oracle or COC. It survived for now. No, it didn't. Because Leech is heavily nerfed. Lazy. Careless. The nerf to COC and Oracle and Blood Mage is not the nerf. Is not a direct nerf to Oracle, COC or Blood Mage. The nerf is that Leech is basically like gone, kinda. That's the nerf. So yeah, there's no like specific nerfs to Blood Mage or Oracle, but they got nerfed heavily due to Leech being very different now. So that is very important to mention. So Magma Barrier. Okay, Mirage Archer can now be used with channeling skills, including Snipe, Plasma Blast, and Detonating Arrow. Mirage Archer and Mirage Deadeye can now be used with channel skills like Snipe, Plasma Blast, and Detonating Arrow. That's cool. That's cool. Like a Mirage guy that's just Plasma Blast the boss. That's kind of cool. But surely Snipe is in here, right? Oil Barrage. Mana cost has been reduced to 18%. A Poured Oil Barrage now has a mana cost per second equivalent to the initial mana cost of Oil Barrage. Oil Barrage now deals 10% more damage at all levels, while a Poured Oil Barrage now deals 10% less damage at all levels. Okay, so that even an Oil Barrage nerf, because it sounds like just an adjustment, right? Parry. Area of effect has been changed to more closely match its animation. No longer has bonus attack distance. Oh no! Oh no! All the parry players are in shambles. Big meta change. Oh no! Anyways, Poison Burst Arrow. Wait. Oh, okay. This might be interesting. Poison burst arrow. Poison duration is now 3 seconds at all gem levels. Quality now grants 10% more magnitude of poison inflicted, previously 20. Poison burst arrow nerf. Poison burst arrow slide nerf. I mean, do the Fabgooners even care about poison burst anymore? They probably care about twisters and snipe now, right? The bow gooners. Yeah? Okay. Rend. Fix the bug where lightning charge rend was scaling twice. Yeah, that's also that was, so they said this was considered a bug. We predicted that as well, that rend is gonna not function that way. Oh wait, Ravenous Swarm now has modifiers to cooldown recovery also applied to swarm spawning frequency. Ooh, that's cool. So Ravenous Swarm can spawn much faster if you get... So you just put cooldown recovery support on there. That's nice. That's cool. That's a slight buff to the build that we're playing. Ravenous Swarm still just tickles. I mean, it can't... Like, Ravenous Swarm breaks armor. That's what it's meant for. Feedback. Like, that's good. Ravenous Swarm breaks armor. It doesn't really deal, like, a lot of damage, but it was never intended to be, like, big damage. It breaks armor, which is super good. It's a lot better, I think, now. Yeah, it should be. Should be a lot better now. Alrighty, Resonating Shield, okay. Rolling Magna, okay. Rolling Slam now has a +1 second to total attack time. Previously 1.5 seconds. That's why we thought in the reveal, when we watched the reveal, it looked like the Rolling Slam was faster, right? And it is now. It's like, what, half a second faster now, which is nice. That's cool. The first slam now deals more damage? No, less damage. And the second slam now deals also less damage. They do not like warriors. They don't. They just don't. Shattering Spite, granted by the series Contempt unique spear, now has 50% less. Okay, no. Oh, wait, is there a current clip?
Huh? They nerfed They nerfed Rolling Slam. They fucking nerfed Rolling Slam. Okay, guys, let me repeat. They nerfed.
It's gonna feel faster though. Fine. Gonna feel faster though.
Degenerates, lowlifes,
So,
thugs, criminals.
Yo, Yobi, thank you for the resub. So, Karn, there's a good side here. It will deal, like, it's gonna be faster to deal no damage now with it. At least you deal less damage faster now. Shattering Spite, we read that. Wait, Shield Wall. Shield Wall now deals 5 to 7 added physical damage per 15 armor on shield. Previously 6 to 8. What? What is that? What is that? Like, okay. 5 to 7 instead of 6 to 8. Why? It's a nerf? Yeah, I can also read, but why? That's... Okay. Does someone have a coin clip for that? But per armor. But wasn't it also per armor before? Yes, of course. They just didn't specify here. That was already the case. The smallest ever nerf, yeah. Armor on shields is buffed 15% in endgame. Thank you, Crypto. That's why. Okay. So it's basic. It's still gonna be okay. So that's okay. That's just an adjustment then. Shred quality now grants increased attack speed instead of more attack speed. So shred also nerfed with the more attack speed and increased attack speed. Okay, snipe. Surely this is a nerf, right? Now deals 312 attack damage. Previously 343. That's very slight. And then the explosion deals 1,449 instead of... And then the explosion deals more damage? Icy Blast deals... bit weaker early. Yeah, that's they could have just not done this. This is exactly the same. Like, this does nothing. No? I don't think that is barely gonna be noticeable, right? Is that gonna be noticeable? It got nerfed via Ice Tip Freeze. Okay, we need to get there. Spell Totem can now be used while moving. That's cool, and has received an updated animation. Okay, cool. Supercharged Slam now more clearly states that it has fixed attack time that cannot be modified. This is purely a description change. Tame Beast. Summoned Beast now deal 40% more damage at gem level 9, scaling up to 84 at gem level 20. Now immediately summons newly tamed Beast if you have enough spirit. Tempest Bell can now be ancestrally boosted as though it were a strike skill. And its maximum number of active bells has been increased to 3, previously 1. Greatly improving its combo potential. Its Shockwave now deals slightly less attack damage and can trigger once every 0.3 seconds instead of 0.25 seconds. Wow. That's kind of nuts. 3 bells instead of 1? Isn't that a massive buff to just like the bell archetype, to bell users? It sounds kind of massive. Because they didn't really reduce the damage much. And you just place 3 instead of 1. You can cast all 3 when ancestrally boosted. Okay. Toxic Growth. Now fires 5 pustules, previously 4. Okay. Thrashing Vines. Okay. Not a functional change. Okay. That could have been like a plants change here. It seems like plants and ED Contagion both literally no changes. Ooh, Time of Need.
Because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
So the Time of Need thing with the 0 cooldown is gone. Ooh, Volcano has a base critical hit chance of 8. Previously 5. Volcano enjoyers. Whirling Assault quality now grants increased attack speed. Previously more attack speed. That is the second nerf to Whirling Assault. That really removes my willingness to start Martial Artist. That is the second big nerf to Whirling Assault. It gets worse. Does it? What's the difference between increased and more? If, let's say you have 100%, right? And you say you get, let's say you have 100. If you have 15% more attack speed, you have 115. If you have 20% more attack speed, you have... Someone do the math, please. I'm bad at that stuff. It's less. More is always better. Additive rather than multiplicative. Exactly. I'm also very smart. More is always more. There you go. 200 goes to 240 instead of 215. Okay. All right. What do we have here? Wait, this is all the skill changes. That's it. Good logic, wrong explanation. Thank you. That's what I do. There you go. This is what you come here for. For wrong explanations, but I tried. This is skill changes. That's it. Okay, nice. And now we go into support changes. Support changes. Unleash, expand salvo, and freezing salvo supports all now use the same confidence of seals instead of each having their own version. This means standardized rules for seals that will be consistent for all cases, resulting in some behavior changes. Supports granting seals now consistently have all the seal category. Okay, what does that mean for salvo and salvo? Freezing salvo and salvo support previously had an extra restriction that the relevant skill could not gain seals while you were performing that skill. This is no longer the case, bringing them into consistency with the other seal mechanics. Okay. Salvo support previously gave a seal every 2 seconds, up to a maximum of 3, and provided 2 projectiles per seal. It now gains a seal every 1 second, up to a maximum of 6, providing 1 projectile per seal. Okay. Okay. Advancing Storm now can support any storm skill under any conditions, rather than only spells you use yourself. Okay. Ooh. That means you could do COC Thunderstorm with Advancing Storm now, right? Just as like thought. Infused Storm on Cock. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Arjun's Medal now grants 25% chance to load in a bolt to all crossbow skills on dealing a killing blow with supported skills. Well, Arjun's Medal. That's a rough one. Bro, you don't nerf COC and then you nerf Arjuns? That's insane. They nerfed COC. Do I have to explain it again? How COC got nerfed? Do we actually have to say it again? COC is nerfed with Leech. What would you do without, like, it is nerfed? I'm just yapping? Okay. Well then. Can you tell me if Infernalist got any buffs? You said if less Leech is getting nerfed, Infernalist doesn't care, but why so? Because Infernalist mainly goes with recoup. Infernalist doesn't really do Leech anyway. Does recoup. So Infernalist is probably, honestly, like passively buffed here. Do you think this will work? How to spam Comet without Leech, MS Paint build idea. What? How do I open just this image? What the fuck? What is this? Dude. No. Reddit. And Series Impatience can no longer support persistent skills. Okay. Bataille's Vengeance, that's probably gonna be nerfed, right? When you freeze a target with supported skills for each 2 rage you have, you and your allies in your presence gain 1% damage as cold damage for 50 seconds. Previously, for each rage you have for 20 seconds. Okay, that's a very slight nerf. That's a slight nerf. Just click on the image. Oh! No, for each 2 rage. Dude, I can't read. Why can't I read? Why can't I read? Brink 1 can now be cut as level 1 support champ, previously level 2. I don't even know what this is. Culmination 2 no longer has a combo count for a supported skill, so cures 50% slower. Okay. Corrupting Cry. Corrupting Cry 2 no longer causes this a supported skill to corrupted blood, but instead triggers a skill which inflicts corrupted blood. Here by the level of the gem it socketed into. Decaying Hex no longer causes the supported curse to inflict decay. Instead, it triggers a skill which inflicts decay scaled by the level of the gem it is socketed into. That's a buff to Decaying Hex. That could be a big buff to Decaying Hex. That's interesting. Decaying Hex scales with int now, so nerfed. I don't think this is a nerf because scaled by the level of the gem it is socketed into. There's no way that is worse than it is now because the scaling now for Decaying Hex is absolute dog shit. No one uses it because it's so bad. If it's scaled by the gem it is socketed into now, that could actually mean it deals a good amount of damage. Plus new vertex. Yeah. We're cooking. Curse players on the up. Every edgy, lich, curse, dark skills, spellcaster, we are on the come up here, I think. Right? Could be good. The Allah's Desire now grants 5% quality of supported skills instead of 10. Okay, we knew that already. Doldress Undoing, let me guess. No longer causes cursed ground created by supported skills to become hazards. Now causes cursed ground to created by supported skills to spawn witch toads of an interval which seek out enemies and explode, dealing chaos damage. I mean, this could be cool. It like completely removes the playstyle that we had before, but frogs, that sounds kind of cool. I want to check that out immediately. That sounds kind of cool. Now causes cursed ground created by supported skills to spawn witch toads on an interval which seeks out enemies and explode, dealing chaos damage. Hello? I'm gonna use that 100%. Chaos damage. I like that. That's cool. Hello, I'm under the water. Okay. Infernal Legion. Let me guess. It's removed, right? And minions from supported skill ignite enemies within a 1.5 renewing, dealing base damage fire to equal previously 200. Infernal Legion 2 now grants minions from supported skills take maximum life per second, and minions from supported skills within a radius. Now additionally grants minions from supported skills have 20% fire regen, and Infernal Legion 3 is gone. Does Doldre work in Blasphemy? No. Because curses that are in Blasphemy, correct me if I'm wrong here, they do not cause cursed ground. As far as I know. I don't think there is a way to have curses in Blasphemy that cause cursed ground. I don't know. Doesn't look like a real change to Infernal Legion. I mean, that was expected. Living Lightning can no longer replaces minions when summoning a new one when already at maximum number of minions. Is this a nerf to using this node? for Living Lightning. Does that still work though?
Degenerates, low-lives, thugs,
Yo, Fico lag,
criminals.
thank you. Thank you for the 2 months. So, they don't die as often again, right? The Living Lightning ones. So that might be a nerf to using this node here. If you're using... It still work, you just have to let the minions disperse naturally, yeah. They still have a timer and will die, yeah, but not as often now. Because on like my plant build, I'm also using these nodes here with Living As soon as I get Living Lightning in Act 2, I'm using this node because this is 60% spell damage for 3 nodes. Ridiculously good. I'm still gonna use it then. Morgana's Tempest can now support any storm skill on any condition rather than only spells you cast yourself. Overabundance 3 now properly describes that it cannot support persistent skills. Well, I guess I'm going crossbow again. Have you seen the Arjun's medal change, Mr. Crossbow player? Overextend can no longer be obtained. Existing items are unaffected by this change. Well, hole 7. Rage 1, Rage 2, and Rage 3 can now support minion skills. What? Dude, am I gonna be a minion player this update? So this also means that you can tame the unique beast, right? Let's say you tame the unique monkey. And then you give him Rage 3? That sounds fucking crazy. That's like double damage. He doesn't hit fast enough, so wants to stay in rage. Yeah, it was just an example. But like any big companion or minion that just hits a lot. Are you going to update the ED Contagion build? Yes, I will. The ED Contagion build will be updated. Oracle plans will be updated. And Abyssal Lich plans will be updated for 0.5. Those are the 3 builds that I will heavily update. And you can count on them being updated. I will also do videos for those over the next couple of days. Everything will be updated. Damn. That's cool. I might try out minions here in 0.5. My wife is calling. Alright, sorry. Wife is telling him it's a minion league. Yeah, that's actually what she just said. You just said it. Okay. Shock Conduction 2 can no longer be obtained. Yeah. Expected. Very expected. Can you help me understand why Abyssal Lich would be better on Twister, let's say Amazon Deadeye? Because on Abyssal Lich, I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, because this is like I don't want this to be common knowledge because it is so good. On the Abyssal Lich, there is something called Umbral Well. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Where is Umbral Well? And Umbral Well makes it so that you get projectile speed from Spirit, basically, to have it like really, really easy to explain. And then you just get projectile acceleration 3, that all the projectile acceleration that you have goes into damage. Projectile speed equals projectile damage. Twisters go burr. Abyssal Lich is by far the best ascendancy for Twisters. If you want to play Twisters, it's Abyssal Lich. I'm telling you. It's gonna be the Prada League. Are Chaos Frogs projectiles? Don't tell them, I'm sorry. One sec. Did you see the ES nerfs? What? No. Where? Okay, I'm not that blind, okay? Shock conduction to gone. Updated description to Trevor, clarify that it triggers for shocking Uthrid's Augury, now plus grants +2, previously +3. Yeah, the Uthrids needed to be nerfed, right? With the plus level skill gems. They are still gonna be insane. They are still gonna be insane. Why is Twisters not nerfed? I don't know. I don't work for GGG. Not that blind, bro. You are in the boat. Shut up. Patch note stream. Yeah, local. I think we're almost done already. I think we're almost done. It only took 3 hours so far of continuous talking. My GGG likes Twisters. I mean, the thing is, I will say it again, like, Twisters has been a thing for a year now. And it has only become, like, the flavor of the month for the past couple of weeks. Like, people are really, really focused on Twisters now. It has been a thing for, like, ages now. So it might not even have been on GGG's radar. Also, they might still nerf it. Want to do patch note debate with me, Miso? Yeah, gladly. Gladly. I will gladly have some more people to yap, so I don't have to yap the whole time. Okay, let's get through this so I can upload this as well to YouTube. In case people will ask. Unique item changes. How many do we have here? Up Eternal unique boots no longer grant 10% less movement speed per dodge roll in the past 12 seconds and have, okay, Up Eternal. Up Supremacy unique focus no longer has faster sort of energy shield recharge. Okay, they really don't want us to recharge energy shield now. Read them, the mids rip. These are rip, okay. At Series Acuity, unique gloves have been reworked. Yeah, they don't have instant leech anymore, let me guess. They get increased armor and energy. No, and maximum life. Wow. High maximum life. Leech 10% of physical attack damage as life. Wait. Causes... Okay. So. Wait. This is for plants. Physical attack damage as life. And 10%, no, physical, no, and 10% of physical damage dealt by your hits causes Bloodlust and Val Pact. They also grant the Herald of Royal Queen skill. Val cultivation outcomes have also changed. Existing items are... Plants are attacks? No, plants are physical damage dealt by your hits. It says attack damage. Where? Here it says physical damage dealt by your hits. Am I huffing on copium? Oh, 7. Oh, 7. The Black Flame unique ring no longer has enemies ignited by you take chaos damage instead of fire damage from ignite. It now has withered you inflict also increases fire damage taking. Ignite you inflict now deals chaos damage instead of fire damage. And Withered does not expire on enemies ignited by you. That's like the... Now has 80 to 100 increased ignite magnitude, previously 50%, and 60 to 75% reduced ignite duration on enemies. Ignite magnitude and duration modifiers can be updated. Black Flame synergy, yeah. I mean, it's called Black Flame. Black Flame, EDC, Abyssal Ledge. Infinite Withered Burn. Am I stupid? Yeah, kinda. Brass Dome unique body armor now has 500... Oh, Brass Dome nerfed? Okay. Blistering Bond now has a fire damage, also contributes to bleeding magnitude. Okay, Carnage Heart now has damage while leeching. Okay, no one cares. Death's Harp no longer has bow attacks, fire 3 additional. Damn, Death's Harp. Okay. Glow Swarm, like, no one cares about these. Now has using a mana flask grants guard equal to 100% of the mana flask recovery rate. Okay. Hollow Mask, we already see. We have seen that already. Husk of Dreams has been renamed to Reverie. We already have seen that in the video. Iris Ire now has 100 to 150 evasion rating, slight nerf, and gain 10 to 20 as extra cold damage, also nerfed. Keeper of the Ark unique helmet has been buffed. Levinstone unique ring no longer has +1 level of all lightning skills. It now has lightning skills chain +1 times. Megalomaniac unique jewel now drops unidentified. Plaguefinger unique gloves now have a cannot inflict elemental ailments. Radiant Grief, 200 base fire damage though. Radiant Grief got buffed. See, the Cataclysm no longer has 30 to 50 increased spell damage bonus. It now has 5% reduced critical spell damage bonus per critical hit you've dealt within the spells recently. And 15 to 30% chance for spell damage with critical hits to be lucky. That's another old 7. To see the Cataclysm. But Seed has a cultivation orb, so you can remove the downside, yeah. Okay. Tekama Resolve. Unique rings have been renamed to Saffron's Resolve, Saida's Longevity, and Shirtura's Path. Decina Akuo unique gloves now have this. The Soul Mantle unique body armor no longer has reduced totem life, instead plus 75 spirit. Swollen. Cast on block skill now has supported skills cost nothing. It also now has plus 50 to 100 runic ward. Okay, Swollen might be interested. Might be interesting. That's crazy. Cast on block comet. I mean, dude, Swollen that's kinda, I see some possibilities here in my head. Balance, and then go items. Swollen buff. What else do we have? Like, Seed of Kata, nerf, or rework. Plague Finder, Plague Finger, nerf. Iris, nerf. Anything else that actually we care about? Black Flame, interesting change. Hyrie got more base evasion. Yeah, I think the Hyries is not quite a big nerf. It's functionally still the same item. Sine Akuo gloves now have 150 increased armor evasion, like slight increase there. No longer has enemies immobilized by you take 20% more damage, and now instead has 30 to 50% increased damage. I mean, that's still good. I think that's still good, but 30 to 50 is still good, but it's definitely not as good as 20% just more, right? Sine Akuo. More is more. There you go. But 30 to 50 is not that... Like, 30 to 50 is pretty good, at least. Alright. Item changes. Greater and perfect currencies have been made somewhat rarer. Transmutation and augmentation being made significantly rarer. Okay. So perfect aug and perfect trans orbs are significantly rarer now. Perfect currency more rare. Greater orbs of transmutation and greater orbs of augmentation now have a minimum modifier level of 44, previously 55, making them more accessible. They can now begin dropping in Act 4. Okay, divine orbs are now more common. What? Wait, don't tell me divine is not going to be a tink anymore now. How is that going to look? Divine's more common. Keep reading. I mean, that's the plan. Yes, I will keep reading. The corruption outcome that randomizes... Wait. The corruption outcome that randomizes the numeric values of the modifiers on an item beyond the normal range now multiplies each modifier based on the current value, instead of randomizing the value. Yeah, that's there's the diff thing. That's why. So you actually have to divine items now before corrupting. You actually have to divine items now before corrupting them. I like that. I like that. I like that. I think that's cool. That's a huge change. Corruption outcome based now on current value. Good rolled items are now more expensive. Yeah, I like more valuable. Yeah. That's a divine sync. A crazy one. That means there's gonna be so much more divines used for the actual use. That is an amazing change, in my opinion. Very good. Yeah, seems like you guys kind of agree. Omen of corruption, lol, what do you mean? Sanctifying an item now multiplies each modifier value based on the current value instead of randomizing value. Yeah, also, same way. Omen of corruption can no look. What? Oh, you can't see it. This is my reaction. US violation? No. It's just a Valorb tattoo, okay? Sadly, we can't see it. Direct nerf to Dead Rabbit. Valhalla bricked, yeah. Streamer is showing his orbs. He tattooed his ex. No, that's a Valorb tattoo. Valid? Yeah, I am Valid now. I have a third socket now. Wait, what? Are those orbs? Are you just happy to see me? Wait, what? So they actually want us to have Vals where nothing happens now? I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. I think nothing happening on Vals is so boring. It's an actual gamble now. I mean, it was a gamble before with Omen of Corruption 2. It just removed the possibility of nothing happening, which I always hate. I think it's like, it's so, that's boring. Nothing happening on a Val is just boring. We can still double corrupt. Yeah, true, but still. I mean, imagine you double corrupt something and 2 times in a row nothing happens. They made it the same as PV1 now, yeah. I think I don't like this. No, I don't like this change. I want stuff to happen. I want my stuff to brick. It's more exciting. Nothing happening on a Val is the main reason why people use Omen of Corruption, because it's just boring. Like, go all in or nothing. Nothing happens and then it gets destroyed. Yeah, that's most likely what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. Martial weapons and flasks found in the campaign are now more likely to be of the highest base type available at that level. Oh, that's a good change. To martial. Like, and hello? And item level for caster weapons? What? And us? And us casters? Doesn't really matter for casters? Yeah. For caster weapons, it's based on item level. So it's not like the base type. The base type for caster weapons doesn't really matter. That's why I said item level. Well, the overall number of essences found in the campaign has been increased. Oh, though the proportion of these being essences of the infinite has been significantly decreased. Okay, this will lead to finding more useful essences as you progress. That is very cool. That's a nice change. The amount of armor granted by items and modifiers has been increased as you get to higher levels. At level 65, you should have approximately 33% more armor, tapering down to 15 at level 80. That's a good change for armor and evasion enjoys. Same for invasion. Damn. That's interesting. They kind of said that. Mark said that already in the Q&A, right? He said that armor and evasion are getting love. The amount of energy shield granted by items is now roughly 8% more at level 65 and unchanged at level 80. Okay. Bio-rope base armor type now has 171 base armor shield, previously 184, slight nerf to energy shield. Base armor of existing items will be automatically adjusted, while armor modifiers on existing items can be updated with the divine orb. Okay. Increased the base weapon range of some martial weapons base types. Okay. Obliterator bow and artillery bow base types now have 1.1 attacks per second, previously 1.15. Oh my god. Yeah. It's like, how do they even notice this and go like, okay, let's change it by 0.5. Okay. Is there anything else here? Implicit modifier for Rabbit, Fury, and Magi Talismans now provides 7 to 10 maximum rage. Slight nerf to those in terms of rage. Voltfang and Thunder Talismans. Okay. Anyone know what possible reason is there not to fix Hex Blast? I think they forgot at this stage. Plus levels of our melee skill, like plus level skill nerfs, we know about those. That's what they also said in the Q&A. Plus levels squished down. What is Hex Blast? It made it like exactly. Plus levels of projectile skills on quivers is now +1. Plus level all gems on attack weapons can now only roll above level 18. In general, we have maximum of +5 now. And one-handed +4. Isn't it kind of insane? Like, by the way. But not for casters? Yeah. Wait. True. Isn't it kind of insane that for one-handed is +4 and for two-handed is +5? Isn't that kind of insane? One-handed, like, doesn't that make one-handed kind of strong? Because it's just one less plus level and you have a you have an offhand slot on top. Isn't that kind of good for one-handed, like, weapons? That's because, like, +4 and +5, but you get +5 and you have no offhand slot. One and focus pretty good now. Yeah. Like, staves still have +7. Perfect Essence of Battle now provides +3. Yup, that was expected. Essence of Hysteria grants 20 to 23% increased energy shield recharge rate when applied to foci, previously 41 to 45. Body runes now grant maximum life. More maximum life than before. More maximum energy shield. All of that. Mind runes. Like, a bunch of the base runes got buffed here. That is what I get from this. Inspiration rune, yeah. Base runes values buffed. More passion, more energy. Glacial runes, yeah, all the runes just buffed. 12, 14, 18. Yeah, everything, like all the runes just buffed, all the base runes. All idols can now also be socketed into scepters. Another minion buff. Idol of Egrin now grants 20% increased curse duration when socketed into a specter. Idol of Ishtar now grants 50% increased socket efficiency. Increased mana recovery rate while your companion is in your presence when socketed into a scepter. Okay. Idol of Grold now socketed into boots. 50% increased total power counted by war cries. Or damage for each different companion. The bonnet modifier now, okay. Idol of Maxarius now grants flash charges. Ralakesh, 40% increased armor evasion and energy shield while your companion is in your presence. Idol of Sirius now grants allies in your presence have 8% increased movement speed when socketed into a scepter. The bonnet modifier now grants reduced slow potency, okay. Idol of Thrualda now grants allies in your presence deal added chaos damage. Bear Idol increased area of effect when socketed into armors. Okay. Boar Idol now grants allies in your presence regenerate +5. Cat Idol increased accuracy rating. Fox Idol limited of 1. It now grants other socketed idols in this item also grant their bonnet modifiers when socketed into body armors. Okay. Bonnet modifiers is +5 quality of all skills when socketed into body armors. Okay. That's actually kind of crazy. +5 quality of all skills when socketed into body armor. That's actually kind of crazy. Owl Idol now grants 12% increase in recovery rate. Ox Idol, okay, all the idols. Rabbit Idol has a limit of 1. It now grants 12% increased rarity of items found when socketed in body armors. Previously 5. And 15% increased spirit when socketed into scepters. Previously 10. Wow. The bonnet modifier now grants, okay. Wait. This might be good. More spirit on scepters and more rarity in body armor. That's kind of good. It's 1 limit. Yeah, but it's a buff for a scepter because you were... Oh, wait. When the scepter is 2 socketed, you were putting in 2. I kind of... Yeah. Right. Good morning, everyone. Everyone except the recombinator. Yeah. 07 recombinator. Scepter can be 3 sockets, yes. Yeah, okay. That's bad then. RIP. Maximum rage on ruby jewels can now be between 1.2. Increased chaos damage on sapphires can now be 7 to 13 instead of 6 to 12. Suffix modifiers granting faster energy shield recharge can no longer roll on foci, intelligence body armors, or jewels. Crazy. Okay. What's gonna be like the best possible energy shield recharge delay now? Probably like 3 seconds with some investment to it. Faster start is simply gone now. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I still think it's gonna be fine. You just recouped, you get a yes back. Yeah, that's what I said earlier as well. Like, energy shield recoup. It's gonna be on the menu, I think. Read the next line for intelligence body armor. Increased energy shield recharge rate suffix modifiers can now roll on intelligence body armors. Yeah, that's good. Increased energy shield recharge rate on body armors. That's good. So we are all gonna play Deadeye again. What? What? How is... What? What? Chronomancer time? I mean, at least on Chronomancer you can roll back time and get your energy shield back that way, right? Right? It's either Amazon or Deadeye. What, like, what year do you think you are in right now? What? 2027. Okay. Bro is in 0.2. Yeah, that's what I did. Like, what? What's happening? Okay. Off suffusion suffix now grants increased energy shield recharge rate. Previously, yeah, energy shield recharge rate nerfed. We get that. Cast speed modifiers on rings and amulets are no longer shared with foci and wands. For rings and amulets, these modifiers now roll at slightly higher levels. The highest tier cast speed modifiers for rings now rolls at level 60 and at level 66 for amulets. The maximum values on these modifiers are unchanged. Okay. Desecrated modifiers granting instant leech can no longer roll. Okay. Alright. Okay. Falling strike threshold for normal enemies is now 35, previously 30. Monster leech resistance is now started at a later level. Essence monster packs are now affected by modifiers to pack size. The beam from the Priest of the Sun can no longer ignore some wall. Okay, okay. All right. I think we did it. I think we did it. We are done with the patch notes. Let's go into the notes. So, we get resistance swapping. Series body armor is nerfed. Covenant is nerfed. Reverse chill is dead. Vertex is now a Lich helmet. Perfect. Just more good news for Lich. Recombinator. Dead. Bye Recombinator. Bonus for using 3 of the same tablet. Very cool change. So if you use 3 breach tablets, we're getting, for example, 3 breach tablets. We're getting bonuses for that. New monster rarity modifier. That increases the oh wait, there's a coin clip.
Plus. It's completely hopeless. They're just fucking blindly listen to the see Popgun fucking say something like, oh, Popgun said melee's OP, that's nerf melee. Popgun said buff bows, that's buff bows. That's literally what's happening right now. Okay, I don't know, actually.
I think is he mad? Also this.
Ah, please.
Okay. 07 Recombinator. Bonus for using 3 of the same tablet. New monster rarity modifier. Effectiveness nerfed on monsters. But a new monster rarity modifier that increases like modifiers on rare monsters and loot. Shrines nerfed. The damage is halved on the damage shrines. Waterways are now the W ways. Waterways are much better now. Less monster density in second half of a campaign to make it less frustrating in the second half of campaign and less tedious to do. Heavy Leech nerfed. This is probably the biggest thing about the patch notes overall, in my opinion. This is probably the biggest balance change in the patch notes, in my opinion. The Heavy Leech nerfs, because it nerfs the whole archetype around cast on crit and leeching back life to spam insane amounts of comments. I think this is the biggest change in 0.5 in terms of balance. Blood Mage compensated for the for Leech being shot dead. Chronomancer gets 60% skill speed with the time thing before it was cast speed. Slight Pathfinder nerf. We have a totem buff. We have energy shield recharge delay and energy shield recharge rate pretty heavily nerfed, I will say. Let's say pretty heavily nerfed, but I will say ES is still good overall. Very important to mention. I do think that this nerf to energy shield was mainly targeted at stuff that I have right here. Like I just need to show you my hardcore Lich right here, like the hardcore plants Lich that I have right here, and you will know what I mean, why they had to nerf this. So this character has 13,000 energy shield. This will still easily be possible in the next update, definitely. And but what the problem was for them is I have 1.5 second energy shield recharge delay, and I recharge 2,300 energy shield per second. So that is what they wanted to nerf, and I think that is reasonable. And I think that is reasonable for them to do. I think ES overall is still very good, and is still a very, very good defensive flare to use on most things. It's still gonna end up being really, really good. If you have 15,000 energy shield, which is still easily gonna be possible. Right? Wait, did they change Convalescence, the skill? They only changed the Convalescence notable, right? Yeah, I mean, Convalescence still exists. Yeah, I mean, you want your energy shield back? You just use this. Like, every 10 seconds or so, however, like your setup is, you just get your energy shield back with Convalescence. Like, it's... Not to mention Runic Board. Yeah, energy shield is still fine. Energy shield is still fine. Absolutely. It's, like... It's nerfed, yes. The energy shield recharge delay and energy shield recharge rate is nerfed, but Convalescence still exists. For 30 spirit, you just get your energy shield back on the press of a button. Is your character floating MTX? Yes. All grenade bug is gone. Poison burst arrow, slight nerf. Time of need, the 0 cooldown version for time of need is removed. Arjun's medal is dead. Infernal Legion is also dead. 3. Shock Conduction 2 is gone. I will say something on Shock Conduction 2. I don't think that's a bad thing for any spellcasters. Because even without Shock Conduction 2, we will still be shocking. We can test it right now. Let's take Thunderstorm and let's take out Shock Conduction 2 and let's see if we shock. That would be actually interesting to see. If we actually shock still with Thunderstorm here. Boltstorm kind of nerfed too for leveling. Yeah. I don't know if it is, because you still have the chance to crit and have like a big juicy hit, right? Let's see if we shock. Not really. Probably needs to set up like a second weapon set for that or something then. It will depend a little bit. Yeah, we need to... That is definitely something we need to figure out. Probably like increased chance to shock or something for second weapon set. Yeah. So it's not going to be as easy to get just shock here. Shock support gem. Yeah. There's going to be ways in doing that are not shock conduction too. That was a little bit too easy for sure. That is another one. And then on items, we have a Seed of Cataclysm nerf that I don't really understand. We have a Swollen buff, Plaguefinger nerf, Black Flame an interesting change, Senior Cool nerf. Then we have the Perfect Currencies are more rare now. Divines are more common now. Due to the corruption-based outcome, B is based on current value now. Omen of Corruption is gone. Plus levels are squished down and base runes values are buffed. Yeah. Honestly... we're still, like, fine. I think the meta, as it is right now, especially for, like, league starting and everything, we're still there. Where we are right now. Plus level for attack skills, not spells, yeah. So, Twisters are fine. Probably for leveling, like, an endgame. I don't know how many people will actually play Twisters in endgame, though, because I think it's a playstyle that not a lot of people enjoy. Abyssal Lich is... gonna be my league starter 100%. I'm 100% league starting Abyssal Lich now because it didn't get touched. And it's, in my opinion, Shadow OP. And we can play Twisters in endgame if we want to. We can play plants in endgame if we want to. We can play minions if we want to. Like, Lich is actually kind of giga buffed here because of all the possibilities we have on Lich. Yeah. Lich is the winner here. Why Lich over Oracle for plants? Because of the Rupture, the Flesh, notable. What does Lich give? Bonus for Plants Contagion. The Rupture, the Flesh, notable. The Oracle, actually, isn't really good for plants, in my opinion. Because, especially now, with Cast on Crit not being as prevalent anymore, I don't think Oracle makes sense for plants, because the only thing you get on Oracle is inevitable crits, which you don't need. You do not need inevitable crits for plants. You don't. You really don't need it. What you get is the extra nodes, and you just get a few extra nodes that are good. Did Abyssal Lich Twister get nerfed? No. And on Lich, what you get is this notable right here. You get free defensive layers, you get more tanky, which is going to be very nice. Because we're not going to have as much energy shield anymore, or energy shield recharge than before. We are in need to be tanky, and we also get Rupture the Flesh, which is basically a Detonate Dead for free. That's it.